Chapter 562. Everyone had a good time that night. Even the officials who were hostile to Zhong didn't go to bed until very late. After all, it was rare to have such a lively night, not to mention that it was under the atmosphere of a bonfire. None of the officials dared to casually comment on Zhong's good or bad. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the house. Some were contemplative, some were curious, and some wanted to own it. However, none of the officials could figure out what the glowing thing was. Similarly, they couldn't figure out why the house could move on its own. Everyone only understood one thing, and that was that the Zhong family and the Wang family valued the 4 children very much. They didn't eat anything given by outsiders, and they didn't use any toys given by outsiders. Someone suggested that they make clothes for them, but that suggestion was also rejected. When they were sleeping that night, the judicial military supervisor even suggested kidnapping the 4 children to threaten Zhong. Without a doubt, that idea was vetoed by the other people in the same tent. If they really dared to kidnap the children, regardless of whether they succeeded or not, it wouldn't be a simple matter of dealing with Zhong. If they failed or succeeded, they would have to face the Zhong family's pursuit. There was absolutely no doubt that the Zhong family wouldn't use any official means to solve this matter. The worried people were very satisfied with the food. Even the 7 people who had eaten at Zhong's house yesterday and didn't taste anything had to admit that the cooks at Near the River restaurant were far inferior to the cooks at Zhong and the Wang family. They could make the simplest dish with the most complicated method, and they could also make the most difficult dish with the simplest method. Even the barbecue was different from other places. The meat skewers that were made without lamb were so tender. When they asked what they put in, the cooks refused to say. It was a secret. Everyone slept through the night with their own thoughts and woke up early the next morning. Under the leadership of the judicial military supervisor, everyone ate very slowly. When they set off, they couldn't move faster. Zhong understood that this was to buy time for Mountain Lake Village. After all, they had just removed the lake, and it would be even more difficult to build a new one. The soaked ground was too muddy. Zhong did not rush them. It was like bringing the 2 families on a trip together. Wang Wan's father also received the corresponding courtesy. He was a 4th-rank official after all. Even if he was dismissed, he was still an official. At the very least, his wife also received the title of a 4th-rank imperial lady. The most direct benefit was the salary. Another benefit was that they would be treated differently when they were in court. The large group of people and horses moved forward slowly. The slow little ones occasionally came down and ran with the group. When they passed by the small river, they could even play by the side for a while. Since no one was in a hurry, they would just drag it out. In the end, it took them 7 days to arrive at their destination. The county magistrate of Taihu County had already finished all the preparations and brought a group of people to welcome them. Apart from the officials, there were also scholars who could accompany them and recite poems. Compared to Lu Zhou, Xu Zhou was indeed much better. At the very least, those who could enter the school were not people Lu Zhou could compare to. They had already known about this mission in advance. In advance, each of them had prepared a few poems that they thought were good enough to avoid embarrassing themselves at the crucial moment. The official matters were handled by Zhong. Zhong Xiaobao and Wang Wan were free, so they took their younger brothers and sisters to wander around. Even a weaved insect made of grass was enough for the 4 little ones to play with for half a day. Not to mention, they rarely had the chance to play outside in the past. The 4 little ones had a slightly older brother, who was Zhong's adopted son. He rarely came out to play and was sick. Perhaps it had something to do with the different soil and water in Lu Zhou's place. It should be caused by the difference in the physique of the people in the north and the south. In a deeper sense, it was genetic. That was to say, the medical standards of the Zhong family and Wang family were slightly better than the people here. Otherwise, it was very likely that they would have died. For example, when the people in the north were sent to Lingnan Road, many of them died on the way. After recuperating for a while, he could occasionally come out for a while, mainly to let him bask in the sun more. The excuse of coming here was to build a spiritual civilization in Xuzhou. What they did was to go on a scenic tour. Hundreds of people did not take cars but walked up the mountain on foot. At this moment, Zhang Zhong finally showed his ability. Occasionally, he would stop to write a poem or take out a classic sentence from a book he had read. Although Zhang Zhong became the top scorer through tricks, that was because of the actual situation. However, Zhang Zhong himself was not bad. He also studied hard for many years in a slightly rich family to get to where he was. At this moment, when he spoke, many people around him who wanted to echo him felt it was difficult. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not care about this kind of thing. The two of them led the people in the inner courtyard to carry the four little guys up the mountain with poles. Every time they encountered something edible, they would pick a little, wash it, and feed it to the four little guys. There was both sour and sweet. It was also a personal experience of life. Especially the bitter mountain vegetables, which were eaten by the common people as vegetables. In Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's time, it was a good thing. Now, as long as people could think of a way, they would not eat wild vegetables. The consequence of eating salted wild vegetables was that the food consumption was very large, and there was no oil and water. When everyone climbed to the top of a mountain, there was a lake in front of them as far as the eye could see. It was bigger than when Zhang Zhong came a few days ago. There was even a running water leading to the lake. It was unknown how much effort the county magistrate of Taihu County had put in. In addition to the lake, there were also the boats that the county magistrate of Taihu County found. They were not big, and each boat could not hold more than 5 or 6 people. Those with enough status would go on the boat to play, while those who were not could only watch from the shore, find things to do, and chat in groups of 3 or 5. Xiao Bei, the youngest of the 4 little guys, was sick from eating too much sour food. After being fed some green onions and being smoked, his eyes turned red. When he saw others getting on the boat, he pointed at the lake and shouted, "Boat, boat," over and over again. The boat had already left the shore and been rowed away. Where could he find a boat for her? Besides, that was where the adults did things, so he could not get involved now. Zhang Xiaobao's eyes were fixed on the house in the middle of the mountain. If he really wanted to, he could push the house into the water. As soon as this idea came out, it was rejected by Zhang Xiaobao. It was not suitable to reveal too many things now. He reckoned that the news of this house would spread to Beijing very soon. It seemed that he had to make 2 houses for Beijing according to the little guys. Of course, it was impossible to give them a house made of agarwood. It was not a matter of money, but wood was not easy to find. The glass windows were simple, and he could just buy some cheap carpets. If they wanted fine cashmere carpets, they could buy them themselves. He could give them a few wheels and let the Ministry of Works study them. It was not a big deal to hand over the Mercury dynamic balance. The production cost was too high. He only told them the principle and did not provide them with the real thing. While Zhang Xiaobao was thinking about this, Wang Wan went to the lake to take a look. The water was very clear, and the temperature was suitable. She gave a look to some of the members of Team Zero who stayed on the shore. 8 of them changed into swimsuits and jumped in. After swimming up and down in the water for a while, they popped their heads out and nodded to Wang Wan on the shore. Wang Wan then put on swimming trunks for the 4 little guys and threw a life buoy into the water for them to play with. "Put on your swimsuits. We'll also go down to play. Let's see if someone wants to kill the children of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family." Zhang Xiaobao said to Wang Wan when he saw his younger brother and sister paddling happily in the water. This was also an opportunity for others to attack them. At the same time, it was also an opportunity to deal with others. After Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan went into the water, there were 2 places on the lake that were lively. One was Zhang Zhong's boat, and the other was naturally the small water area where the children of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family played. People who did not know the situation inside would really think that this was a very harmonious scene. Xuzhou was a pier on the side of the Yangtze River. At this time, there were many people moving things from the boat here. They all looked a little happy, but also a little unfamiliar with the environment. 2 old men ignored the busy people and walked slowly along the road that led to Xuzhou from the pier. One of the 2 old men looked at the surrounding scenery and said to the other old man next to him, "Long Zhe, this place doesn't look so rich now. The Zhang family hasn't completely freed up their hands. Besides, this place is far from the place where the people live. It's not worth spending money around the pier immediately. When the people live better, they can build the road here. At this time, they are already building it. They have a lot of people, and they don't lack money. It's estimated that by this winter, they will be able to build the main road from the provincial capital to the counties. Then, they will build this place for convenient transportation. You have just come from the capital, so naturally, you will feel that this place is not as good as the capital. But, Suzhou is already good enough. If you have seen Luzhou, you will understand the difference between the two places. When I went to Luzhou, what I saw was not bad. At least, the Zhang family has built the road there. But, when you pass by Lianzhou, you will know the situation in Luzhou. This matter can't be rushed. The imperial court doesn't know when the road will be built, and there is no edict to ask Zhongzhong to build the road. The imperial court cares about this year's tax. Since you are here, don't worry about it. Take care of yourself. I have thought it through. As long as I am alive, there is hope. The old man called Long Zhe looked much better than the old man who spoke first. The old man who spoke first not only had many age spots on his face, but also many wrinkles and a lot of hair loss. Moreover, he gave people the feeling that his eyes would only be lively at certain special times. Usually, they were so cloudy. After hearing Long Zhe's words, the old man did not say much about this issue. He sniffed the smell of the soil here and said, "Yes, it is good to be alive, but people can't do more things when they are alive. What's the difference between that and a walking corpse? I have resigned, but my heart can't rest. I have to do something. Fortunately, you came early. Otherwise, I might be buried in the soil. Yuanji, you are wrong to think so. Even if I don't go, I think you will be fine. It is just a small illness. When we meet Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, we will ask them to make a special diet for you. Take care of your body and live a few more years. See how the people of Tang live a good life." Old man Long Zhe comforted the person he called Yuanji. After he finished speaking, he sighed again. Perhaps it was because he felt that he was too old. He really wanted to live a few more years, especially when he saw with his own eyes how the Zhang family gave good lives to the people everywhere they went. Old Yuanji nodded and said, "Then try your best to live. It is a good opportunity to see the means of the masters of the Zhang family and see what other things they can do. Tell people to hurry up. I also want to see if the two children you praised to the heavens are so smart. Well, when the time comes, one more person to teach, one more ability. But I don't know how the people of Suzhou will deal with the Zhang family this time. It is reasonable to say that the rent tax should be higher every year, but now it is lower every year. If Zhongzhong can't raise the rent tax this year, the people in the imperial court will definitely look down on him." Old Long Zhe looked at old Yuanji and said with a trace of worry in his eyebrows. Old Yuanji smiled. How could he not know what Long Zhe meant? "I just came here, and there are many things I don't understand. It depends on the ability of the Zhang family. Unless there is no other choice, you can just treat me as an idle person. Raising the rent tax to 150,000 strings of coins a year is difficult for other people, but for the Zhang family, no one will think it is too much. After all, he has done so many things." As the two were talking, the people unloading the goods behind them were almost done. A carriage came and waited for the two to get on. The carriage began to speed up in the direction of the provincial capital of Suzhou. Time flew while they were traveling. When the water was cold, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who had not encountered any danger, carried their younger brother and sister to the shore again. The people on the boat began to return, preparing to find a place to sleep in the mountains tonight. Zhongzhong was really playing. He had not been like this for a long time. Today, he did not care why he was here, but he could play to his heart's content. At night, the county magistrate of Taihu County prepared a sumptuous feast. When he saw a few hundred people eating there, he felt his heart ache. This was all money, and he couldn't just use ordinary dishes to deal with it. He didn't even need to think about it if he didn't have the 1,000 strings of coins for this meal. The military counselor and the others wouldn't pay for this meal. It was a matter of course for a lower official to entertain a higher official. As for where the money came from, the higher official would not ask. Anyway, when there was a problem in checking the account, the higher official would look for the lower official. There was no fairness. After Zhang Zhong and the others and their families had rested, the county magistrate of Taihu County found the registrar and the others. He was anxious. Because of Zhang Zhong, he lost a batch of goods and was delayed for so many days. Every day, he lost a lot of money. Even if he did not get a lot of money, the pressure from above was great. Obviously, something happened to the registrar, but in the end, he had to bear the responsibility. He said that he did not choose the right route when he was transporting the goods. There was only one route and it was to be taken at night. How could he choose? Was he supposed to take the field in the middle of the night? Or climb the mountain? Thinking about it was just thinking about it. He still had to explain the matter clearly. When the county magistrate of Taihu County arrived at the tent where the registrar and the others were, the 7 of them were drinking tea and chatting. They did not seem to be anxious at all. Only the county magistrate of Taihu County was anxious. Seeing the 7 of them drinking poorly, the county magistrate of Taihu County felt his heart ache again. This was tea bought from the Zhang family. Zhang Zhong had not done anything when he came to Suzhou, but he had brought the Chamber of Commerce here to sell things. This tea was part of the goods. Although it was expensive, not everyone could buy it. It was very rare. When the county magistrate of Taihu County bought this tea to welcome Zhang Zhong, he was really impressed. He thought that he should also have a shopping center at home. If he sold food and drinks, even if they were not delicious, he could go to the villages below to have a look. Then, he would specially mention this food and drink on the way. His subordinates would have to arrange for the food and drink. Even if the price was high, they would have to bear with it. The tea that was bought now was very expensive. They even had to use a silver scale to weigh it. A sip of tea would cost dozens of copper coins. Although this was what he thought in his heart, the county magistrate of Taihu County did not show it on his face. He greeted the 7 of them with a smile and asked about their discomfort with concern. He meant that he wanted to find a few women to serve the 7 of them. When he asked, the county magistrate was a little nervous. He was afraid that the 7 of them would really agree. Then, he would have to fork out a lot of money. Now, the person he was most grateful to was Zhang Zhong. At least, when Zhang Zhong came, he had already told people in advance that he did not want to be assigned a few prostitutes. If he could save, he would save. Bubai, it would not be good if Provincial Governor Zhang heard this. You came at the right time. You have done well this year. Let me ask you, have you thought of a solution? When the registrar saw the county magistrate of Taihu County, he put down the teacup in his hand and asked, Solution. What solution do I have? If Zhang Zhong comes every few days, don't even think about mining the mine. The county magistrate of Taihu County was very angry. When he came over just now, he wanted to ask if the 7 of them had a solution. In the end, he was directly asked, what solution could he, a small county magistrate, have? Anyway, he could only earn a little more every year. At most, he would give up and become a county magistrate in another place. When the registrar heard the words of the county magistrate of Taihu County, Wei Wei was stunned. His expression immediately became gentler. He also knew that it was not good to bully people too much. If he really forced the county magistrate of Taihu County into a corner, he would directly write a memorial and send it to the higher-ups. Even if the person behind him was fine, he and the others would also be finished. When he signaled the registrar to sit down, the registrar's expression also changed. It's fine if you can't think of it. I think we will receive news in the next 1 or 2 days. The next place is the Cloud Rock. Has it been arranged? Rest assured, sir. Everything has been arranged. That place is not like the copper mine. There are too many places to excavate. I have already asked people to clean up the traces on the ground. The exposed places are covered with a layer of mud and grass. Also, small trees and grass have been planted. As long as you don't look carefully, you won't find any problems. Seeing that the registrar was pressuring him, The county magistrate of Taihu County suppressed the anger in his heart and told him the arrangement of the other place. The registrar nodded with satisfaction. Not bad. You have done very well. I think that Zhang Zhong will not insist on removing the mud from a certain place. If that's the case, everyone will have a hard time. We will push the responsibility to him and make it difficult for him to do anything in Suzhou. You are right, sir. Zhang Zhong already knows what is going on, but he doesn't dare to make it clear. He is also afraid of Sir's means. The county magistrate of Taihu County flattered. In his heart, he felt that the registrar was boasting. If he really had the ability, why would he let Zhang Zhong come over and force him to be in such a hurry? He was probably just bragging to people like him. The registrar seemed to have realized that he had said too much. He no longer mentioned this matter and changed the topic. He asked, "Can you find anyone in Zhang Zhong's family who is special?" 2 people. If you find them, even if you don't want the mine here, we will have made a great contribution. Special? Yes, I did see them. There are really 2 people who are very special. They are different from the others. The county magistrate of Taihu County thought for a while and said, "Really? Which 2 people? What do they look like? Are they hiding in the crowd? Hurry up and say it. If you really find them, you won't be the county magistrate anymore." The registrar's eyes lit up and asked anxiously. The other 6 judges also did the same. They all looked at the county magistrate of Taihu County. The county magistrate of Taihu County was shocked. He didn't know what happened to the 7 of them. He immediately said, "Actually, all of you know who those 2 people are. They are the young master and young lady of the Zhang family and Wang family. I found something very important. Everyone has to listen to what they say. Even the stewards of the Zhang family and Wang family don't dare to oppose them. How is that not special?" Sigh. After hearing the county magistrate of Taihu County's answer, the 7 of them sighed at the same time. They were still wondering who those 2 people were. There was no need for others to say anything. Of course, they were special. But what was the use of that? They were trying to find the 2 hidden masters of the Zhang family, not 2 kids. Got it. You did a good job. Although the person is wrong, you did your best. If there's nothing else, go back and rest early. The registrar was very disappointed. However, he couldn't dispel the county magistrate of Taihu County's enthusiasm. He praised them and was about to chase them out. When the county magistrate of Taihu County heard this, he understood that he didn't find the right person. The 7 of them were dissatisfied. He thought for a while and said, "Sir, how about this? I saw that the car in their house is very good. I will get it when they are not paying attention. After thinking about it, I will send it to the imperial court. Why don't you just catch Zhang Zhong as well? You saw the house. Is it something normal? How do you get someone to get it? Steal it. He is such a big guy. Do you think we are blind? Steal it. Then you can go and try. After you succeed, you will be rewarded." The registrar looked at the county magistrate of Taihu County as if he was looking at a fool. The county magistrate of Taihu County just mentioned it. He thought that the 7 of them would help him. Seeing that they didn't have the intention to do so, he could only take back his thoughts. After greeting them, they turned around and prepared to leave. Suddenly, a person came in from outside the tent. After glancing at everyone present, he took out a sealed letter from his bosom and handed it to the registrar of military affairs. The registrar took the letter. When he saw the words on it, his eyes immediately widened. He asked the person who delivered the letter to go outside the tent to read it carefully. After reading from the beginning to the end, he said to the others, "The orders from the higher-ups are that if Zhang Zhong doesn't give up the place, we are to make things difficult for him elsewhere. Let's see if we should do this." Chapter 563. When the crickets stopped chirping, the sky was already bright. When everyone woke up for breakfast, Zhang Zhong looked very energetic. It seemed that he had slept well last night. However, It was different for the 7 people in charge of affairs and the county magistrate of Taihu County. All of them had dark circles under their eyes and were yawning non-stop. It was as if they had not slept at all last night. They couldn't be blamed for this. Last night's letter had given them too much of a shock. If they really followed the letter, they didn't know if there would be even more trouble. Once someone found out, it wouldn't be as simple as beheading. Even their entire clan would be destroyed along with it. They also admitted that if they did that, Zhang Zhong would definitely not have the time to take care of them. Otherwise, let alone the 150,000 yuan tax this year, it was still uncertain whether they would be able to collect it. They might even need the help of the imperial court. With such a choice in mind, how could the 8 of them sleep well? Even if they were to lie down, they wouldn't be able to sleep. The county magistrate of Taihu County fell asleep when the sun was about to rise. However, the things that happened in his dream woke him up again. For the entire night, the 8 of them asked themselves whether they should do it or not. Zhang Zhong didn't know why these 8 people didn't sleep well. He only knew that these 8 people definitely didn't have good intentions. Zhang Zhong watched as the 8 of them ate a little bit of porridge listlessly and didn't eat anything else. Zhang Zhong didn't care about them and slowly ate by himself. Today, he still had a place to go, which was more than 2 hours away from here. Zhang Zhong was afraid that he would get hungry while talking to others on the road, so he couldn't eat casually. He had to eat his fill first. When everyone was almost done eating, the group continued their journey and prepared to go to another place with beautiful scenery. Just as they went down the mountain, another group appeared at the foot of the mountain. From the flag, it was obvious who had arrived. It was Tang and Commandery Prince, Li Sun. Upon seeing Li Sun, Zhang Zhong was very calm and brought the officials to greet him. Li Sun was a secondary grade 1 official. No one could compare to him. Zhang Zhong did not think much of it because he was familiar with Li Sun. He had never treated Li Sun as an important person and had always treated him as a junior. He only cared about him and did not respect him. However, the others were not like this, especially the military officers. They were really afraid now. They were afraid that Li Sun would find out something and directly impeach them. Then, they would not be able to deal with Li Sun like how they dealt with Zhang Zhong. They did not sleep well last night and were feeling very uncomfortable at this time. Then, they met Li Sun again. They were scared and immediately felt that they were in a trance. They could not see both sides of the road clearly. However, Zhang Zhong talked to them from time to time, so they had to force themselves to deal with it. This was the end. Their minds were not enough. They were also worried about Li Sun, who suddenly appeared. They kept looking at Li Sun to see what he wanted. Li Sun did not have time to care about them. He directly ran to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Seeing the 2 of them accompanying the 4 little fellows, he also helped to cut fruits and feed the 4 greedy little fellows. As a commandery prince, Li Sun did not feel that he was inferior at all to personally serve others. The 4 little fellows of the Zhang family could not be fed by just anyone. After he came over, he just washed his hands and took the fruits himself. The Zhang family did not check at all. This showed his status. After all, they were a family. What made Li Sun even more proud was that the 4 little fellows could not be fed by just anyone, even if it was someone from the inner courtyard. However, when he fed them, the little fellows always smiled at him. This made him even happier than when he suddenly received 10,000 strings of coins. After the 4 little fellows were stuffed to the point that they covered their stomachs and did not eat anymore, Li Sun asked Zhang Xiaobao, "Why did you call me here in such a hurry?" "I'm busy with the road. I'm going to finish the road before this year's winter. There must be roads that lead to the various counties and docks. Also, I planted the fruit trees on the side of the road. There is a ditch between 2 trees. When they grow up and passers-by are thirsty, they can use stones to knock down a few fruits to eat. There are 4 kinds of fruits. Except for the winter, there are all kinds of fruits in spring, summer, and autumn." "What kind of fruits are there in spring?" Zhang Xiaobao thought that Li Sun had made an out-of-season fruit. "Yes, there are flowers. It's the flowers of the locust tree. If there is no other way, I'll ask someone to look for them. There must be some. When the trees grow up, my fief will be better than others. Tell me, why did you call me here? I'm busy. It costs tens of thousands of yuan for a quarter of an hour. Li Sun used the words he learned from Zhang Xiaobao. Wang Wan laughed. In fact, Zhang Xiaobao was right. He did cost hundreds of thousands of yuan per minute, but Li Sun did not believe it. After listening to Li Sun's plan, Zhang Xiaobao did not want to discourage him. Anyway, when the time comes, we will know whether it will succeed or not. It's just a matter of spending a little more money. Looking around, other than the 4 little guys who were eating fruits and sleeping, no one else could hear them. Do you want to be rich? The kind with a lot of money. I have a way to make you rich, and you don't have to worry about others making trouble for you. No, I'm thinking about how to spend money now. How can I be in the mood to make money? My money is enough for me to build my fief. After the fief is built, I can get more money. I don't have to worry. I can't lose the big picture for small gains. I'm not afraid of others making trouble for me. I won't rebel. Who dares to make trouble for me? Who dares? There are many ways to die. Why do you want to find me? Li Sun refused. From the meaning of his words, it showed that he was now focused on building his fief. He did not consider other sources when he was not short of funds. You really don't want to? Make a fortune in your fief. There are 2 mines, one is a copper mine, and the other is a marble mine. They have been secretly mined for several years. Did you see the mountain we just came down from? There is a copper mine on it. However, in the official book, there is only an entry of or income. Do you understand what I mean? And that cloud stone, the real cloud stone. It's as white as the clouds, and it seems to be transparent. I use it to pave the floor at home. It stopped a thief once. If we don't think of a way, the 2 mines will be stolen away. Zhang Xiaobao pointed to the mountain they just came down from, and then pointed to the clouds floating in the sky. Li Sun was stunned by Zhang Xiaobao's words. After a while, he suddenly shouted, "What? Really? Retreat. What are you doing here?" After shouting at the guards who rushed to protect him to retreat, Li Sun's face was ashen. He lowered his voice and asked Zhang Xiaobao, "Xiaobao, you're not lying to me, right? Who has the guts to secretly mine the copper and marble mines in my fief for several years? I think they don't want to live anymore. If I find out who it is, I will make them spit out all the money they have accumulated in the past few years." Really? When have I ever lied to you? But what happened a few years ago has nothing to do with you. At that time, it was not your fief. After we came here, they probably could only transport it out 3 or 4 times. My father happened to meet them once. They ran away and did not catch up. The goods were left behind. Most of the marble was given to Xiao Bei and the others to play with. The copper mine is still there. You can arrange for people to take it away. There was a copper mine on the mountain just now. The place we are going to now is the marble mine. Zhang Xiaobao finally found a solution to the problem. Although the 2 mines were good, the target was too big. After all, they were places where they could earn money by mining. It was not suitable for his own family to occupy them. It was better to give them to Li Sun and let Li Sun occupy them. No one could say anything. Li Sun felt that it was right. The previous mine had nothing to do with him, but he still felt uncomfortable. He thought that if others did not secretly mine and left it to him, how much more money could he earn? He did not lack money. The problem was that it was his own money. He could not let others take it for free. He finally understood why Zhang Xiaobao asked him to come. You don't have to give me what your family left behind. Xiao Bei and the others like to play on the marble? Wait until I take back the mine, then I will give you more marble. How about this? Let's work together to mine, just like how your family brought me along when you did business. Now that I have something good, I want to give you a share. Xiao Bao, do you know who secretly dug it? Tell me, and I will take care of them immediately. Beheading is a light punishment. Charge them with the crime of privately minting coins. Exterminate their entire family. Li Sun did not care about giving the marble to Xiao Bei and the others to play with. The four of them were so cute. It did not matter how many marble there were. He just wanted to find the culprit and take action. Zhang Xiaobao saw Li Sun's reaction and knew that he had guessed correctly. But there was no evidence now. It was easy to kill, but difficult to convince the public. If he wanted to deal with someone, he had to find an excuse. Young Master Li, don't be anxious. We know who the culprit is. It is the officials here. Anyone who can come into contact with them is a suspect. Wait until we find evidence. Take a look at the place first and remember it. It is good to have a target. Yes. We can't take action directly. There is no evidence, and it is not an emergency period. It is fine. They have to dig, right? As long as they dig, we can catch them. Let's see who is more daring. Li Sun was no longer the little prince who only knew how to bully others. Since he had a fief, he had to do things according to the rules. He agreed to Zhang Xiaobao's suggestion. Zhang Xiaobao thought for a while and asked, "Then what if the person we find is from the imperial clan?" If it's a member of the imperial family, then I'll just treat it as a gift. However, the people below must be dealt with. I can't let imperial uncle kill all my cousins, right? That's impossible. Li Sun did not hide his thoughts at all. The leader was fine, but the people below were unlucky. It was their fault for not doing a good job. Now that they were caught, they had to bear such a punishment. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan could understand Li Sun. Not to mention now, when was it not the same? When something happened, the small fish were caught, the medium fish would be moved to another place, and the big fish would be fine. Just know who you suspect. Don't show it. Zhang Xiaobao said to Li Sun. Understood. I won't talk to them too much. Who am I? I am the Duke. What are they? The little guys can eat again. Fruit is digested quickly. As Li Sun spoke, he saw the four little guys being carried to pee and prepared to be fed fruit. As soon as he finished speaking, he pulled Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and ran away. Due to the slow pace of the group, it took them nearly 6 hours to arrive at their destination. None of them had eaten lunch. Some of them had eaten too much in the morning, while others couldn't eat because they had too many things on their minds. From afar, they could see that the mountain in front of them was lush green. Zhang Xiaobao said to Li Sun, who was looking around for oars, "Do you see the trees over there? And the grass, in fact, it was all stuck there later. If you look closely, you will find that the trees and grass are not growing right. They shouldn't be so long. I don't know who is so stupid that they can't even see the yin and yang sides. The trees are actually denser in the shade than in the sunny areas. And the grass on the steep areas, whose grass can grow perpendicular to the slope under such circumstances. Where is this place? Taihu County. Why did my father come here? To promote the construction of spiritual civilization in Xuzhou. Who do you think has something to do with it? Just now on the mountain, the place where the mine should be is actually a lake. I originally thought that only the Zhang family and Wang family had such ability. A man-made lake, the county magistrate of Taihu County is also very capable." Li Sun heard Zhang Xiaobao's words and understood what he meant. He looked at the trees and flowers on the mountain, and it was indeed so. When he agreed with Zhang Xiaobao that he was stupid, he said angrily, "There is no good official. There are layers upon layers of protection. It is not a single official that is caught, but a series of problems. Why do you think this is? There are historical reasons for this, and at the same time, it is also a problem of the management mechanism. It is not easy to explain in a few words. Even if it is clear, it is not easy to solve. It is very difficult." Zhang Xiaobao knew that this was a problem related to the whole human society. Even if they raised a high salary, it was useless. Were there really no corrupt officials in Singapore? That was under the condition that the place was small and easy to govern. If it were such a big country, who could put an end to it? As long as this society is governed by people, then don't expect all the officials to be honest. You have to know that the reason why society can develop is because of people's desires. Without desires, human beings will not exist. As long as they exist, there will be such situations. Zhang Xiaobao said the most fundamental reason. Li Sun could understand a special word Zhang Xiaobao said. This was what he had learned for many years. He knew that Zhang Xiaobao was right, but he still felt uncomfortable and asked, then why is Sanshui County different? Any random official will not show any corruption, bribery, or abuse of power for personal gain. It is not that they do not have desires, but that they understand that as long as nothing happens, they will be promoted. When they leave office, they will get a large sum of money, more than what they are greedy for. There is no risk at all. The income and risk are proportional. 10,000 strings of cash is likely to cost them their lives, but 5,000 strings of cash is easy to get. Of course, they will choose 5,000 strings of cash. Didn't you say that if there is a 300% profit, someone will take all the risks to get it? Li Sun argued. That is referring to the situation where the supervision mechanism is not working. Does Sanshui County have that kind of opportunity? Most importantly, there is a more powerful threat in Sanshui County, and that is the Zhang family. Especially with my father's official position, even if they take the tens of thousands of strings of cash they just collected and run away, it will be useless. They understand the determination of the Zhang family. Even if they run out of the country, they will be hunted down. The opportunity is too small, and the risk is too great. That is why they are so honest. Besides, they are usually treated well, so why do they have to take the risk? Zhang Xiaobao knew the reason. The most important thing was that the Zhang family had the ability to make money, so there was no need to be greedy. If the Zhang family did not have the ability, they would not be able to handle the following matters. Then what should we do? Is there no solution? Li Sun was even more depressed. He knew that there was no second Zhang family. They could not control the place at all. They were rich and capable, but they did not have the ambition to rebel. Where could he find another Zhang family? It's not that there's no way. There's one way, and that's to find a very powerful emperor who can see through everyone's heart. Moreover, he can see through everyone's heart in just a few breaths. Moreover, even if everyone in the world works together, they can't beat him alone. He can also make the land increase in production and make the flood disappear. That way, there will be no more corrupt officials. Zhang Xiaobao gave an answer. You are not talking about an emperor, but an immortal. Li Sun was even more depressed. Zhang Xiaobao smiled and said, It is impossible to make all the people and officials be selfless, but we can find a way to make the officials make fewer mistakes. Originally, 50 out of 100 officials are bad, so don't expect that there will be none. It will be a success if we can reduce it to 10. Then how can we reduce it? Li Sun agreed. If they could not be eliminated, they could reduce it. When the military of the dictatorship is loyal and strong enough, they can monitor the officials without relying on manpower. Now, there is no need to think about it. It is useless. They are calling you. Go and praise them. Zhang Xiaobao also had such a dream, but it could not be realized. When he saw the people over there looking back at them while they were talking, he gave Li Sun a push. Li Sun was not willing to deal with such officials, but he had no other choice. He could only go over and join in the praise of the local officials. Even though he knew that there was a marble mine behind the very unnatural trees, he still had to praise the strange trees and the beautiful scenery. Not bad, it is really a good place. Lord Zhang will definitely build a place like this into a place for the people to enjoy, especially those trees. In other places, the trees are dense on the sunny side, but here, they are dense on the shady side. It is really different. They are strange, and the scenery is beautiful. Li Sun was depressed in his heart. He pointed at a tree and said, The county magistrate of Taihu County was so scared that he trembled and sweat dripped down his forehead. And those vines. In other places, they are coiled, slanted, or straight up, but here, they are growing horizontally. Moreover, they are not fixed by anything. It is beautiful. When I write a memorial to report to the emperor, it will be an auspicious sign. I have decided to send people to guard this place day and night until the imperial court sends people to investigate. Li Sun was not done with his anger, so he continued to scare. This time, not only was the county magistrate of Taihu County trembling, but even the military officers were also scared. The important thing was that if they really wrote a memorial and asked the imperial court to come and guard the place day and night, they would definitely know that it was fake and understand what was going on behind the mine. The first one to be arrested was the county magistrate of Taihu County. As long as he confessed, they would not be able to escape. If they really wanted to hide, they would have to kill the county magistrate and everyone related to him. Killing them would also be considered a crime of not investigating. At the same time, they were thinking about what to do. At this time, Zhang Zhong spoke. "Your Highness, this is not appropriate." "Oh, what's wrong? Could it be that these vines are not so simple? Men, go and take a look. We have to figure it out even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground." Li Sun often spent time with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Not only did he learn knowledge, but he also learned a lot of evil tricks. "No, Your Highness, you can't." 3 of the military officers tried to stop him in unison. The others also wanted to say something, but they did not know what to say. Zhang Zhong also tried to dissuade him. "Your Highness, I don't mean this. It's not appropriate now. When the news reaches the capital and people from the capital come here, the vines on the mountain will probably be dying or have already died. If they can't see it, wouldn't it be lying to the emperor?" "Is that so? There's such a thing?" "Aya, this is my first time here, so I don't know. What do you think?" Li Sun looked at the officials around him who were so scared that their faces changed. He was in a good mood. Yes, Provincial Governor Zhang is right. That's right. If Your Highness really wants to report an auspicious sign, why don't you report it first thing next year?" The military officer was about to sit on the ground and said with a dull look in his eyes, "In that case, forget it. I want to climb the mountain and see who wants to climb with me. I can use the vines to climb up. Don't underestimate me. I'm very powerful." Li Sun continued with his suggestion. When he said that it was fine, all the officials heaved a sigh of relief. However, when he said the second half of his suggestion, all of them became angry again. There were even 2 cowardly officials who sat on the ground. Seeing Li Sun look over, one of them was smart and quickly explained, "Your Highness is really powerful. When I heard that we were going to climb, I was scared. I can't. What if I fall down halfway?" The other one immediately followed suit, and the matter was finally resolved. Zhang Zhong knew that Li Sun did it deliberately, so he said, "Your Highness, there is something more interesting than climbing the mountain. Not far from here, there is a lake called Lake Tai. I heard that the fish and shrimp in the lake are good. Why don't we go fishing there?" "Oh, is that so? Then let's take a look here and go to Lake Tai." Li Sun finally didn't continue to scare people. After he finished speaking, he turned around and looked for Zhang Xiaobao. When the people who could barely stand saw that Li Sun had left, they didn't care whether Zhang Zhong was next to them. A few of them sat on the ground. Zhang Zhong began to put on an act and asked people to write poems here. He also took other people's works and gave them some pointers. Amidst everyone's flattery, he left this place and went to Lake Tai. It could be said that this spiritual construction guidance work had ended. Chapter 564. Li Sun was preparing to snatch the mine. He had absolute confidence that no one else would be able to snatch it from him. In his own fief, other than the emperor and his 2 fathers, no one else could. And the emperor and his 2 fathers did not need to snatch it from him. If there was a need, they could just call him. He was now thinking about how to develop the mine. It was easy to mine, but difficult to sell. Some people did not even know about it. Zhang Xiaobao was familiar with this. He pondered for a moment and said, "You can only own the Cloudstone mine, but you can't monopolize the copper mine. The imperial court is short of copper now. Once you mine the copper, you can sell it directly to your uncle, the emperor. He will only charge you a mining fee and environmental damage fee. It's a small amount of money, but you have to take it. However, you can't make money from it. Just think of it as organizing people to work for your uncle for free. You're not afraid of being greedy, but you don't know what you should be greedy and what you shouldn't be greedy. This copper mine is a basic natural resource that society needs. It can't be reproduced. It's a livelihood for people. Not to mention your status, even the Zhang family and the Wang family can't take this money. Cloudstones are another thing. There's no need to worry about it. It's like sugar and salt. No matter how high the price of sugar is, no one will say anything, especially the imperial court. However, if you want to monopolize salt and raise the price, you can only wait for death. Cloudstones are a luxury. Even if you don't have them, you won't die. It's enough for you to use them to make money. Mine them first, then transport them to the capital. Build a beautiful house for your uncle with them. It's best if it's done before winter. I'll provide the furniture and heating inside. I'll also give you a beautiful big fish tank and some ornamental fish that are equally rare in Lu Zhou's place. Let your uncle use them during the winter. When spring comes tomorrow, your marble will be worth a lot of money. You should thank me. Li Sun nodded. He could not help but admire this idea. However, after thinking about it, he said, Cloudstones are worth a lot of money, but aren't your glass fish tank and ornamental fish worth more? Also, what's the heating device? Is it a Kong? Can a Kong work? Heating? You'll know in the future. It's very convenient. There's coal in Huayuan County. I'll give you a few thermometers as well. You can give them to your uncle. Try to keep the temperature in the room at 23 to 27 degrees Celsius. Zhang Xiaobao finally understood why the master was not willing to teach his disciple. Once the disciple was smart, it would not be easy to fool him. Li Sun did not fully understand, but he agreed. Since Zhang Xiaobao said so, then his family must have a way. He would just do as he said. When Li Sun turned around, he saw the house again. He thought about how the wheels were not afraid of bumps and how the house could move back and forth. He had a lot of thoughts. Xiao Bei's house. You want to steal my younger sibling's house? No, absolutely not. My family is going to offer the method to the higher-ups. You won't get a share. As soon as Zhang Xiaobao heard Li Sun's question, he understood. He quickly explained his thoughts, not letting Li Sun take advantage of the situation. I'm not robbing you. I'm just asking if you can make one. I want one too. Li Sun was indeed going to take the technology and make a few more for his family. Or, if someone had a child at home, it would be too tacky for others to give gold and silver. He would give a house. If you want to make it into a car, wheels are fine, but a house is not. That thing is too big. Unless you want to make the car as big as the house. Let's go boating. Zhang Xiaobao agreed to a portion of it and followed the group to Lake Tai. As Li Sun followed, he said to Zhang Xiaobao, Xiaobao, do you have any new things in your family? Let me see them. I might be able to use them. You must tell me if you have any. Don't worry. I'll tell you everything as long as it can be mass-produced. I'll give you a share when I do business. Zhang Xiaobao made the horse run faster to get rid of Li Sun. When the team arrived at Lake Tai, it was already evening. Li Sun circled the lake and caught a few fish. Unfortunately, crabs were not available in this season, so he could only eat fish and prawns. Everyone ate a big meal. Zhang Zhong was in a good mood as he learned a lot of things. Li Sun was also happy. There were 2 mines. Even if he could only take one in the end, it would be good. The military registrar and the others were also relaxed. The matter was settled. Li Sun drank some wine and was a little confused. When it was dark, he wanted to find Zhang Xiaobao to discuss ways to make money. He did not care about others and stood up to find Zhang Xiaobao. However, before he reached the place, he realized something was wrong. Why was it so bright? How many candles must be lit? It's so bright. It's still near the house. Xiaobao wants to kill the younger siblings. This won't do. I have to go and take a look. Li Sun did not feel anything when he was sitting and drinking. Now that he stood up, the alcohol rushed to his head. In a daze, he saw a house. It was bright. At this time, he was in a state where he was intoxicated but not drunk. He knew that too many candles were not good for the younger siblings. When he got closer and was sobered up by the cold wind, he finally realized that things were not as he thought. He saw Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan guarding the front of the house. They were playing with the younger siblings and looking at the candles in the house. That's strange. When did such candles appear? When he got closer, Li Sun finally realized that it was not a candle. It was something bright inside a glass. It was a new thing that could replace candles. Xiaobao, what did you say during the day? You're hiding the good stuff, aren't you? Why is it so bright? Give me 100 of them. I'll hang them at home. Li Sun rubbed his face with his hands and poured some water on his face from the basin for the younger children's handkerchiefs. When he woke up, he stood in front of Zhang Xiaobao and questioned him. He knew that he should not scare the child. It can't be mass-produced yet. Last night, 2 were broken. It's not even enough for 24 hours. It's useless even if I give it to you. It's an experiment now. This is the house. The experiment at home is also at the same time. That place is different from here. Let's see how long it can last. When it's done, we will definitely not leave you out. Especially this generator. Look, it's something that the people over there use. We can sell it cheaper. It's 1,000 strings of coins. It's not expensive. Zhang Xiaobao was not lying. The lifespan of light bulbs was too short. It could not be used at all. It was not like when he and Wang Wan were together. Glass was cheap. Here, it was a luxury. The light bulbs were going to be sold for 50 strings of coins. After people bought them, they would use them for a few hours. If they broke, it would be over. He had to find a way to make it last longer. Compared to candles, at least the lifespan of the light bulbs could be exchanged for the price of candles at the same time. The reason why the generator was so cheap was that the light bulb technology was in his hands. If the conditions were met, Zhang Xiaobao could even give away the generator for free. For example, he could buy 100 light bulbs at a time. While Zhang Xiaobao was talking, the light bulb on the second floor of the house went out. The 4 little guys found that the light was not right. They turned to look at their own house together and saw that the light on the second floor was out. They were anxious. They pulled Wang Wan there and called her sister. Their little hands pointed to the second floor. Zhang Xiaobao quickly changed the light bulbs. Li Sun also believed Zhang Xiaobao's words and said, "It's really easy to break. Then we have to study it quickly. It's a good thing. It's bright, really bright. The fire is wrapped in the glass. There's no need to add oil, and there's no need to be afraid of wind. If the whole house is lit, there won't be any difference between night and day." Zhang Xiaobao changed the light bulbs. The second floor was bright again. The 4 little guys smiled happily and turned to continue playing. Li Sun could see that the little guys could not go in, but they definitely would not allow their house to be dark. He squatted down and pulled one of the little guys over. He kissed him hard on the face and said, "You guys enjoy yourselves. The good things are all given to you first. There's no such treatment in the palace." After staying in Lake Tai for a night, they rushed back after dawn. Seeing that they had all left, the county magistrate of Taihu County sat on the shaft of the carriage and looked at the sky. He sighed and said to himself, "Gone, they're all gone. It's finally quiet. Mines, money, and floating clouds, they're all floating clouds. Master, there's still Qing Feng." A person who was an advisor came over and said. The county magistrate put his hand on the advisor's face and pushed him. "Go away. What Qing Feng? They're all gone." No one in Zhang Xiaobao's entourage cared about the thoughts of a county magistrate, nor did they have the leisure to experience the county magistrate's philosophical thoughts. They continued on their journey at a leisurely pace. After walking for 3 days, they still did not return to the manor. They did not go back, but some people had already arrived. They were the people who came down from the dock. On the fourth night after leaving the dock, many carriages came to the yamen of Shuzhou Prefecture. Of course, the guards did not dare to stop them and directly let them in. Old man Yuanji's family was also temporarily arranged to stay in the prefecture. However, there was no one in the prefecture, not even a caretaker. The only people who could breathe were the yamen runners outside. After asking around, they found out that everyone had gone elsewhere. The old man who accompanied old man Yuanji said, "Don't worry about them. Just don't go to their main house. We can look around and see if they have made anything new. I found that every few days, they make something new." At this time, a yamen runner who was guarding the gate came over and said to the old man who just spoke, "Master Bai, I don't know what's going on these days. As soon as it gets dark, one of the courtyards in the governor's house will light up. Sometimes, it will light up for a long time. Sometimes, it will light up for a while and then stop. Is it haunted? Master, why don't you and this master take a rest outside? Otherwise, if something happens, it will be hard for me to explain." "Oh, is there such a thing? Okay, what haunted? Can his house be haunted? UNG, come with me. Arrange for your family to stay here. Send as many servants to my house as possible. The Zhang family has things that not everyone can see." When old man Pai heard that it was haunted, he did not believe it at all. Which ghost was tired of living and came to the Zhang family and Wang family to make trouble. He said something to old man Yuanji and led the way to the courtyard that the yamen runner just mentioned. It was just the two of them. The others were not going to follow, not even the guards. When the two old men came to the courtyard, they saw that it was lit up in different places. Old man Pai looked carefully at the ground and said in surprise, "This is the courtyard where the four youngest children of the Zhang family and Wang family play. There should be a house in front. It seems that it has been put on wheels and taken away. And the ground." Long Zai, wait, what did you just say? The house has been put on wheels and taken away? What house can be taken away? If old man Yuanji did not know what kind of person Bai Go was, he would really think that he was possessed by a ghost. It was the first time he heard that a house was put on wheels and taken away. Yuanji does not believe it. It is the house of the four little kids. It is so high and has 3 floors. Only one house costs a lot of money. What is the point of putting on wheels and taking away? That house can be used as a boat in the water. Even if it is pressed into the water, the children inside can hold on for a long time. And the ground, it was not marble in the past. I don't know where they found so many marble stones. I think it can only be seen in this courtyard. It is beautiful, especially when it is illuminated by the light. Good, it is a pity that the people are not here. Otherwise, I must ask carefully. Old man Pai explained to old man Yuanji. He could understand the other party's thoughts. If he did not see it with his own eyes, no one would believe it. Sure enough, old man Yuanji did not believe it. He said on the side, "Is there no marble stones in Zhongzhong's main hall?" That depends on whether there is anything left after the courtyard is paved. If there is, and it is enough to pave the main hall, then there will be some in the main hall. Otherwise, there won't be any. Their family gave the best things to the 4 children. Let's go and see what that shiny thing is. Old man Pai explained again. He stepped on the marble ground and felt that the feeling under his feet was really different. When the 2 people approached the shiny thing, they found that there were a total of 20 such things, and 6 of them were broken. What is this? A candle? An oil lamp? They have been gone for several days. There should not be anyone coming in to add oil. It is even more impossible for a candle to burn for such a long time. It is strange. Old man Pai looked at the light bulbs. When he turned his head to talk to old man Yuanji, he suddenly found that the surroundings were so dark. When he turned his head to look at the light bulbs again, his eyes were shaking uncomfortably. Fortunately, for the 2 of them, the light bulbs were not hung up high. Old man Yuanji had just reached the place and had to be polite, so he did not touch them. Old man Pai did not care about being polite or not. If he was polite to the Zhang family, then he would never be able to get anything good. Let me pick one and see what it is. Old Man Pai said as he reached out to pick one of the light bulbs. He thought that it was a gourd. As soon as his hand touched the light bulbs, he retracted his hand. Hot. How did this happen? My hand is so hot. Look, where does it connect to? Old Man Pai blew twice on his scalded fingers. As he spoke, he followed the line that connected the light bulbs to other places. His feet also followed the light bulbs. As they walked, the two of them arrived in front of a few large windmills that were rotating at the side. Under the windmills, the two of them saw something that could not be seen clearly turning. When the windmills turned, this thing turned. When the windmills stopped, this thing also stopped. After looking for a while, Old Man Yung finally found the connection and said, "When the windmills stop, it is dark. When the windmills turn, it is bright." Does this have something to do with the windmills? Yes, that is it. Yung, you don't know. Look here. Obviously, you can use your feet to pedal, but now you are riding on the windmills. The Zhang family is lazy. If they can use wind and water, they will definitely not use animals. If they can use animals, they will definitely not use people. I know how to do this. Watch me. Stop this place that connects to the windmills and then take it down. Okay, that side is out, right? Next, I will go up and pedal. Old Man Pai picked up a connecting shaft. This way, the generator could not rely on the rotation of the windmills to provide power. Old Man Pai went up to the generator, put his foot on the pedal, grabbed the handle, and began to pedal. When he pedaled, that place lit up again. When he stopped, it was dark. This time, without needing to say anything, Old Man Yung understood what was going on. It turned out that it was really related to the windmills, but he could not figure out the reason behind it. Old Man Pai was the same. He put back the connecting shaft of the windmills. After the lights were back on, he sat there and rested his chin on his hand. Why? The windmills turn and light up, and the windmills stop. Could it be that a windmill with this thing can replace candles? The more he thought about it, the more surprised Old Man Pai was. If it was true, then as long as the wind was blowing steadily and there was water next to it, candles and oil lamps would no longer be needed. Moreover, this thing with something inside the glass was much brighter than candles. If it was placed in a hall, just one would be brighter than more than 10 candles. How much money would be saved? How much oil would be saved? If this oil was given to people to eat, how many families would benefit? Besides, this thing was not afraid of wind and did not have oil fumes. Apart from the discomfort of looking at it directly, it was much better than candles and oil lamps. What Old Man Pai could think of, Old Man Yung could also think of. He also knew that this thing that could light up was a layer of glass. Longzhe, the Tang Empire is lucky to have this thing. We should write a report immediately. I will go back now. Old Man Yung looked very calm just now, but after thinking of the application of this thing, he became excited and was about to go back. Yung, you can't. Everything will have to wait until the Zhang family comes back. If you write a report now and send it to them, then this thing will be the last thing the Zhang family has. Don't expect other things to come out in the future. You should know that the Zhang family makes a good thing every few days. When Old Man Pai saw that Old Man Yung was going to write a report, he quickly stopped him. If he really wrote it and sent it to them, then it would be terrible. After interacting with the Zhang family so much, he knew what kind of people the Zhang family was. If they negotiated with him, then sometimes it would be an exchange of interests, sometimes it would be an exchange of power, and sometimes it would not be an exchange of anything. As long as they talked nicely and it did not have a big impact on the income of the Zhang family and Wang family, then the technology would be handed over. For example, if it was really related to the fate of the country and the people's livelihood, then the first thing to do was to send it to them. If such people were angered because of Yung's excitement, then they should not expect their family to produce anything in the future. Killing the goose that lays the golden eggs would not work. After Old Man Pai stopped Old Man Yung and told him this, Old Man Yung also stopped. He also understood that this was indeed the case. If he were in Old Man Pai's shoes, he would also be angry. What did it mean that all under the sky was the land of the king, and all on the shore of the land were the king's subjects? That was a lie. The land of the king was conquered. For example, the big island that the Zhang family found was the land of the Tang Empire. In fact, it had nothing to do with the Tang Empire at all. They did not send troops to occupy it. They just wanted the gold mine, copper mine, and grain there. I understand. The Zhang family and Wang family are not lacking in righteousness, but we can't use righteousness to suppress them. This thing will definitely be used to make money. Ordinary people will not use it. Old man Yung sighed and did not leave. He stood beside the lamp and watched it shine. Ordinary people have no use for candles. Oil lamps are only lit when there are special circumstances. How can they afford it? Let alone this. How much did the thing just now cost? Can the common people afford it? It's only used by the rich. Besides, there's nothing wrong with the Zhang family making money. You'll know when they come back. It's not bad to eat, but they will never throw away a table full of food that they can't finish. They wear good clothes, but they will never stop wearing them after wearing them once. Apart from the 4 little ones who did not care about money, their family rarely wasted money. In other words, most of the money they earned was not used on themselves. Look at Sanshui County, Huayuan County, Yaozhou, Luzhou, and now the people of Suzhou. Most of the time, the Zhang and Wang families had to fork out their own money to pay for the roads and water conservancy projects. They rarely reported anything to the authorities. Moreover, no one reported anything to them. Whenever a disaster struck a place, they would secretly transport things to that place. When they arrived at that place, they would use the imperial court's name to give it to the victims. They also paid for the things the imperial court built. Other rich families flaunt their wealth, but you can't see the Zhang family and Wang family at all. This is the true definition of a rich family. The sea does not show off its depth, but it surges. The mountain does not show off its height, but it is majestic. The Zhang family and Wang family are like this. If they earn money, so be it. Old Man Pai summed up the Zhang family and Wang family. It was true. The two families were never like other people who used the name of giving porridge outside a certain city. If the Zhang family and Wang family really wanted to help the common people in a certain place, they would definitely open a business there. Then, they would use the business as an excuse to build roads and water conservancy projects, and so on. This required manpower. Other people were giving alms on the surface, but the Zhang family and Wang family were helping the common people find things to do. They were not on the same level at all. Old man Yung used to think that he knew the Zhang family and Wang family well. On the way, he also heard some things about the Zhang family and Wang family from Old Man Pai. The main thing was that there were too many things to do, so he did not talk about it. Chapter 565. The green grass was boundless, and the rice in the fields had grown. Whose carriage and horses were making a ruckus. Living in fear all day long, the heart of the mortal world is not cold. Why worry about the lack of sunlight? I'll give you lollipops. After discovering something that could replace candles, Old Man Pai and Old Man Yuanji didn't sleep that night. They took the 4 mats that they used to drag the children back and forth, sat on the marble floor, and guarded. Old Man Yuanji asked questions from time to time and let Old Man Pai answer them. In addition to talking about the Zhang family and the Wang family, Old Man Pai also pondered about the problem of the glowing object. Having learned the Book of Nature, he wanted to use the knowledge in the book to interpret what he saw. However, he found that the book, which seemed very profound at first, was too simple when compared to the object in front of him. There must be a deeper level of books. The Book of Nature is like a clear stream. Then there must be a small river, a big river, a big river, and a big sea. Yes, that's right. It turns out that this road is so long. Old Man Pai thought about this matter, but he didn't know whether the glowing object in front of him was a big river or a big sea. If Wang Wan was here, she would tell him that this was only a small part of a small river. The Book of Nature could not even be considered a small stream. It would be more appropriate to call it the mouth of a spring. The depth of the sea of technology depended on the vastness of the starry sky. The more one knew, the shallower they found themselves. Old man Yuanji had never learned the book of nature. He couldn't understand anything that was invented by the Zhang family. Hearing Old Man Pai muttering, he asked curiously, "Long Zhe, what are you talking about? Do you know what's going on?" "I don't know. I only know that the lightning in the sky is bright because two different kinds of clouds collide. It has nothing to do with immortals. The thing hanging there will light up." "Is it because two different kinds of things collide? For example, the flint we use?" Old Man Pai tried his best to use his knowledge to explain this phenomenon. He seemed to have found a connection, but he couldn't accurately explain it. The flint would light up continuously when it was struck, but that kind of light would have intermittent intervals. The thing above his head didn't stop shining. Old man Yuanji was even more confused. How did this have anything to do with flint again? If he couldn't figure it out, he said to Old Man Pai, "Don't think about it. Let's talk about the 3 types of seeds. Can it be used throughout the Great Tang?" "It should be possible. The Zhang family is testing it as well. They've succeeded in planting rice in Sanshui County, and they've succeeded in planting rice in Huayuan County. Since there's no Zhang family in Yao Province to guide them personally, they've succeeded in planting rice in other places. Lu Zhou has succeeded. If this place succeeds as well, it can only mean one thing. Different methods need to be adopted in different places. The reason for this is that what can help other things grow is not necessarily a pig, a duck, and so on. Old Man Pai summarized the seeds. Old Man Yuanji also understood and said, "I understand. It's local conditions. For example, the Zhang family in Sanshui County first raised an earth dragon in Zhuangzi. In addition to feeding the chickens, it can also be used in places where the soil is not good. After drilling, the hard ground will become soft. We should ask the agriculture temple to send people to guard it." "That's fine, but we can't order the Zhang family around. It's dawn. Eat some porridge and go to sleep." Old Man Pai yawned and found that the sun had come out. Time passed so quickly. A night had passed just like that. The two of them stood up. Old Man Pai rubbed his sore legs, but he was fine after moving around a bit. Old Man Yuanji, on the other hand, couldn't even stand up. This was thanks to the 4 cushions. There was a layer between them that blocked out the cold air. Otherwise, he might have to be carried away because of the marble floor. When Old Man Pai supported Old Man Yuanji, who was moving little by little, back to his courtyard, the dining tables had already been set up. Someone was holding a pen and paper in his hand and asking them one by one, "What do you eat?" "There are steamed buns, about this big. There are mutton stuffing, pork stuffing, leek and egg stuffing, and pies with the same stuffing. There are also steamed buns and fruits, oil cakes, rice porridge, millet porridge, 2 kinds of rice mixed together, soy milk and tofu pudding, sweet and salty." Little kid, who drinks milk and egg cake. His ears were full of such inquiries. Old Man Yuanji turned to look at Old Man Pai in puzzlement. What was going on? When he was on the ship, he didn't eat so many things. There were only 3 kinds. 2 kinds of rice porridge, soy milk and tofu pudding, and the salty one. Before Old Man Pai could answer, he continued to ask if he ate wontons, soaked buns, mutton soup, pancakes, and so on. These were the habits of people who could eat breakfast everywhere. There were also the eating methods that the Zhang family later invented. In total, there were more than 30 things and hundreds of combinations. This. Old Man Pai understood what he meant. Why couldn't he eat when he was on the ship? "This is not the breakfast that my chef made. This is the treatment provided by the Zhang family and the Wang family's Sea and Clouds restaurant. With the Hunan Road as the boundary, that is between the clouds and the water, and this is Sea and Clouds restaurant. In the future, they will compete with each other. Just know that. What do you want to eat?" "I want a big bowl of steamed egg cake and a drawer of shumai." "I'm the same as you. How can I be asked? So troublesome." After hearing so many things, Old Man Yuanji was confused. He didn't know how to choose, so he could only order the same as Old Man Pai. If I don't ask one by one, how can I serve? The amount of food for each meal is the amount that others say, and then add it up a little. Otherwise, it will be a waste. I didn't spend money. Old Man Bai called a clerk over and told them what to eat. He explained to Old Man Yuanji. Old Man Yuanji nodded to show that he understood, and then suddenly asked, "What about the leftovers from the restaurants? What about the restaurants in the capital? The good things are taken home by the waiter, and the bad things are given to the beggars waiting for food. The rest is thrown away. It's the same in the restaurant, but the good things are left for the people who can't eat, and the bad things are fed to the pigs." Sigh. When will the people of Tang stop eating this kind of thing? Old Man Pai didn't feel good when he talked about this. Even though Zhang Wang's restaurant was already very good, and everything that was given to the people was the best, after all, it was the leftovers of others. It wasn't the first time that he saw other restaurants put the leftovers together with the swill in a bucket for people to grab. There was a lucky child who fished out a bitten chicken claw from the swill in the bucket, and he was very grateful to the person who brought it over. It's a pity that I'm still the Minister of Revenue, in charge of the land and money of the world, but I can't change anything. Old Man Pai sighed. The more he thought about it, the more sullen he felt. It's almost done. It's almost done. The emperor is working hard to govern the country, and the Zhang Wang and Zhang Wang's methods. Old Man Yuanji was even more sullen than Old Man Pai. When the sun rose, Zhang Zhong's team continued their journey and walked back unhurriedly. The road that hadn't been repaired was not wide enough, and the team was large, so the people at the back didn't dare to force their way through. They could only wait until they encountered a small path and quickly go around to the front. The people in front of them also hid by the side of the road. Zhang Zhong had already told the team not to walk side by side, leaving space for passers-by. However, pedestrians didn't dare to do that. If they bumped into someone with a bad temper, they would be punished. Li Sun rode beside the house while holding a clip in his hand and using a charcoal stick to draw on the paper. From time to time, he would ask Zhang Xiaobao, who was also riding a horse, how to build the road in this place and how wide it should be. Or when they encountered a river, he would ask Zhang Xiaobao what kind of bridge should be built. Should it be an arch bridge or a flat bridge made of wood? Zhang Xiaobao had never studied civil engineering, so how could he know? He could only look at the surrounding environment. If there was a barren mountain, he would say to build a stone bridge. If there was a dense forest, or if there was no mountain, he would say to build a wooden bridge. It mainly depended on the difficulty of finding the materials. The team walked and walked until it was noon. It was time to eat, so they stopped to rest, mainly because the horses were tired. They carried out the little guys who had just woken up and let them play around by themselves. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan began to cook for the younger brother and sister alone. Others could eat in the big pot, but the little guys couldn't eat with them. What are we going to do today? Are we going to make soft fried meat? We made it last time, but it was a little difficult to eat. Why don't we make fish? Wang Wan tied her apron and asked Zhang Xiaobao. The fish we brought this time has too many bones. It's too tiring to beat the fish. Let's make snow cotton bean paste. The little guys like to eat sweet things. You mix the bean paste, and I'll beat the eggs. Zhang Xiaobao said after a pause and began to take out the eggs. The people in the inner courtyard didn't have any reaction. They were used to it, but the other officials were envious. The four little guys didn't eat the soft fried meat last time and shared it with them. Only then did they realize that the best cooks between the clouds and the water turned out to be the two oldest kids in the family of Governor Zhang and General Wang. In the past few days, the two kids had never heard of most of the dishes they cooked for the four little guys, let alone see them. Whatever the four little guys couldn't eat, they would put aside for the people in the inner courtyard to eat. At first, it was for the sake of flattery. Some officials came over and insisted on eating the leftovers of others, even if the leftovers might have the little guy's saliva on them. However, after eating it, they realized that it wasn't the case at all. No wonder the general's daughter didn't let others cook for the little guys. Last time, they were chased away when they sent roasted pork tendons. So this was the reason. While Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were busy, the four little guys ran around crazily. They found everything fun and ran everywhere, exhausting the servant girls who were protecting them. Xiaobei ran around and around until she came to a family of four hiding in a ditch by the roadside. They didn't dare to move. The most attractive thing about this family was that there was also a pair of twins. They looked exactly the same, but they were girls. They looked about the same age as her and were timidly huddling in their mother's arms. Xiaobei ran closer, crossed her legs and crossed her arms. Wei Wei leaned forward and stared at the two sisters with her head tilted. Her big eyes kept blinking, as if she was very curious. After staring at the two for a while, she looked at her own clothes and finally found the difference. She was wearing clothes, while the two opposite her weren't wearing clothes. Their little faces were also dark. After standing there and pondering for a while, Xiaobei turned around and ran back into the house. Two servant girls chased after her to protect her. The remaining servant girl said to the family of four, "Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. This is the provincial governor's family. They won't hurt you." The servant girl's comforting words didn't have much of an effect. It would be a lie if the husband and wife said that they weren't afraid. If they encountered an adult, it would be easier to handle. If that precious little girl ran here and cried, then the adult would want their family's lives. After running into the house, Xiaobei fiddled with it for a while. When she came out, she held a small stick in each hand. On the top of the stick was a round piece with a diameter of 10 centimeters wrapped in tin foil. She turned around and ran back. The parents of the two twins were frightened. They didn't know what this little girl was going to do, but they didn't do anything. This time, Xiaobei ran until she was in front of the two girls. She giggled a few times and reached out her hands to pass the two things she was holding to the two girls. She said, "Candy, candy, eat candy." The maidservant standing by the side understood that the little girl was going to give her a candy. She quickly said to the two frightened adults, "This is my family Xiaobei's wife. She's giving your daughter a candy. Quickly take it, otherwise if she cries." The rest of the words didn't need to be said. The couple knew what she meant as soon as they heard it. The woman reached out to take the candy, but Xiaobei didn't give it to her. She wanted to pass it to the two girls. The woman immediately pushed her two daughters forward. "Big boys, small boys, quickly take it. It's candy." The two girls weren't as generous as Xiaobei. Maybe it was because of the people they were in contact with, or maybe it was because of the nutrition, or maybe it was because of the different education methods. They were so scared that they didn't dare to reach out. Xiaobei was stunned for a moment. She stuffed the candy in her left hand into the servant girl's hand and freed her hand to tear off the wrapper of the candy in her right hand. There was a layer of glutinous rice paper inside. She demonstrated by licking the lollipop that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had specially made for them. She even smacked her lips twice and handed it over again. The two sisters' eyes immediately widened. "This can be eaten? It looks so good." One of them stretched out his small hand and took it. Then, he imitated Xiaobei's actions and licked it with his tongue. He seemed to have discovered something very strange. He made a sound of acknowledgement and licked it twice. Finally, he revealed a pure and innocent smile. At this time, the other one also followed her example and licked it. She smiled happily like the first one. At this time, Xiaobei finished peeling the other candy and handed it over. When the second girl grabbed the candy in her hand and licked it like a treasure, Xiaobei seemed to have done the greatest thing. She spread her arms and smiled like a flower as she watched the two girls lick the candy. The three servant girls beside Xiaobei also smiled. The kind-hearted master, the kind-hearted young lady, and the young master. Even this little ancestor, when others thought that she didn't know anything, knew how to give good things to people who needed them. The couple was dumbfounded. They had never seen such a big candy before. There were 3 colors stacked together in circles. What was even more unexpected was that the girl opposite them, who was about the same age as their 2 daughters, was so sensible. If it was said that when an adult gave something to others, they would make use of it in this way, but this little girl definitely wouldn't. How did the master teach such a kind child? If a child could be like this, then there was no need to talk about an adult. At this time, the man finally reacted. He remembered what the servant girl had said. The provincial governor's wife Xiaobei? But is it the provincial governor Zhang who just arrived in Suzhou? The great official that people always say is good? The man reacted and asked in a trembling voice. The provincial governor of Suzhou is my master. My master said that the people will judge whether he is good or not. The servant girl's voice was soft and slightly proud as she replied. Good official. He is indeed a great official. I will kowtow to the master. When the man got this answer, he knelt down with a thump and kowtowed to the group. The woman also let go of her 2 daughters and kowtowed with her husband. The 2 girls didn't seem to understand what was going on with their parents. They held the candy sticks tightly in their hands and blinked anxiously. The commotion here finally alarmed the other side. 2 guards ran over to check the situation. One servant girl stopped the guards and told them what had just happened. The other 2 servant girls went to help the people. When the guards heard this, one stayed behind to guard and the other went back to report. Zhang Zhong was preparing to eat. After hearing the guard's report, he laughed out loud. Good, this is my Zhang family's people. You have the people in your heart. There should be more people on the road. It's time to eat. Let's eat together. Someone, go and find everyone in front to eat together. A father can't be worse than his daughter. Zhang Zhong was happy. His daughter really fought for him. She actually ran out to give candy to others. The officials around Zhang Zhong were also puzzled. Could it be that if the father was good, the child would be good too? It really made people jealous. It was always doubtful that the adults could buy the people's hearts. But the children also knew that helping their fathers to buy the people's hearts was 100 times better than the adults doing it directly. After Zhang Zhong gave the order, someone immediately went to the 2 sides of the group to call people. The guards also became more vigilant. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had just finished making snow cotton bean paste. When they heard the news, they frowned at the same time. In the future, there will be 2 strong protection team members beside the 4 of them at all times. What if they encounter an assassination? Xiao Bei and the others must have felt that they don't have enough companions because they usually play with 4 people. It seems that we have to find them playmates. Zhang Xiaobao was not surprised that his sister could do such a thing. It was normal, but he was not satisfied with the guards. If they were sent by someone to kill, his sister would have been dead long ago. Love was love, but they could not ignore their safety. Wang Wan also felt that it was dangerous and said, "It seems that we have to make pistols as soon as possible in the future. We also have to choose people with good skills and cultivate a special team of bodyguards. We can't not be close to the people." Back then, wherever the chairman went, he had to inform us in advance and check again for fear of danger. But the Prime Minister is different. As long as something happens, he has to fly over. It's temporary. The people can't check at all. One is relying on the charm of the person, and the other is that the bodyguards are strong enough. No matter what, Xiao Bei did not encounter any danger this time. When the maid came to call Xiao Bei to eat, Xiao Bei's eyes lit up. This was also a conditioned reflex. She had probably heard the word eat the most. More importantly, she knew that the food was delicious. It was made by her brother and sister. Knowing that she could eat good food again, Xiao Bei held the sisters' hands and walked back, one in each hand. After taking 2 steps, she lost her balance and fell on the ground. While others were worried, she got up, turned around, and pulled the sisters up again. This time, they were walking forward, so they didn't have to fall on their buttocks. When Xiao Bei pulled them into the group, the maid coaxed Xiao Bei to take the 2 sisters to take a bath and find new clothes to wear. The 2 sisters felt that the atmosphere was different and were very obedient. However, they did not let go of the lollipops in their hands. Even when they were bathing, they held the lollipops in their hands. To them, this was probably the most precious gift. At this time, it was already time to eat. There were only about 30 people on the road, so there was no need to check them one by one. In today's accidental situation, the probability of deliberately hurting Zhang Zhong was too small. Zhang Zhong was bold and greeted the people one by one. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were helpless. They could only personally accompany Zhang Zhong and chase the bodyguards away. This made Zhang Zhong seem closer to the people. He was greeting his family. However, the people in the inner courtyard of the Zhang family knew that with the young master and young lady around, there was no need to worry about the master's safety. The people were indeed moved. He was a good official. It was the first time they saw an official without any bodyguards talk to them so cordially. After a round of greetings, everyone started to eat. But just as they started to eat, 2 horses came from the front. 2 yamen runners jumped off the horses and ran to Zhang Zhong to report, "Sir, official by his back. He brought many people with him. Among them is an old man. Official by calls him Yuan Ji." Chapter 566. What is prosperity? Don't ask now, look for old traces in the next year. The old man would fish with them or point to the sky and talk about the clouds. Zhang San knew that Bai Go had gone to pick them up. When he heard Yuanji, he didn't know who it was. They ate and continued on their way. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw that the 6 little guys had finished eating, they asked someone to inquire about them. They found out that this family was a family of craftsmen, or craftsmen. They were not as good as farmers, so they were looking for work. Xiaobei seemed to hit it off with the 2 sisters and insisted on playing with them. He was even brought into the house. Seeing this, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't have to worry about it. Someone hired the family. They didn't care what they could do, as long as the children could play with Xiaobei. As they continued to walk, Zhang Xiaobao asked Wang Wan, "Do you know who Yuanji is? The person Grandpa Bai found shouldn't be bad, right?" "Yuanji? Who's called Yuanji? His courtesy name is Yuanji, right? There was a person in the northern song called Wang Yuqi. His courtesy name is Yuanji. I remember the poem he wrote was, 'The horse crosses the mountain and the chrysanthemum blossoms at the beginning. Wanha has a voice in the evening, and several peaks stand silently under the setting sun. The leaves of the tangerine pear fall, and the buckwheat flowers bloom. What is there to be melancholy about? The village bridge and the original trees are like my hometown.' It feels a bit like Su Shi's Lingnan answer. But he said, 'This is my hometown. But he is better than him, more free and easy. He is such a person.' That's right. Wang Wan was knowledgeable and better than Zhang Xiaobao in this aspect. She said it directly. Unfortunately, this answer didn't satisfy Zhang Xiaobao. You said it was the northern song. No matter how bad I am in history, I know that the song is after the Tang. Is he here now? Did he come out early? Oh right. He is not here yet. Who is he? Yuanji. This name is indeed familiar. Who did Li Longji call Yuanji? The person Grandpa Bai found should be a little famous, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked for both a boat and a person to pick him up. Young Master Li, come here for a moment. I have something to ask you. Wang Wan couldn't think of anything. It was clearly floating in front of her eyes. She had a hint of inspiration, but she forgot it in her hurry. She could only look for Li Sun. What's the matter? Li Sun urged his horse over. Just now, because there were a few more common people's children, he didn't eat the snow cotton bean paste. Even though he wasn't young anymore, he was used to eating with Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun. At this time, he started to throw a tantrum and called out, "This prince," the moment he opened his mouth. "Regarding the matter of making a fortune, I wonder if your highness has the time?" Wang Wan replied, "Yes, yes." "Tell me how to get rich. Let's do it together." Li Sun's status suddenly dropped. "Then tell me first, whose character is Yuan Ji?" Wang Wan continued to ask. "Yao Chong? What happened to him? He didn't seem to be young anymore. Could he have died?" That's a big matter. It's a loss to our dynasty." Li Sun's expression changed. After all, he was a prime minister. Even if he wasn't, he still knew what he had done. Wang Wan also remembered who the character Yuan Ji was. She opened her mouth and gasped in shock. She looked at Zhang Xiaobao and said, "Grandpa, I brought Yao Chong here? That's troublesome. Yao Chong's methods are impressive. What if there's a group of people?" Zhang Xiaobao was also shocked. He didn't expect that old man Pai would bring Yao Chong here when he said he was going to pick someone up. Could it be that old man Pai felt that he didn't have enough weight? No matter how bad the history was, Zhang Xiaobao knew who Yao Chong was. That name had existed for many centuries. Many people said that without him, there would be no Kai Yuan era. It was his series of methods that helped Li Longji stabilize the political situation. Besides, his family had dealt with him before. His family's initial position was stable because they worked together to eliminate the locusts. Now that he was here in person, there was another large group of people. Li Sun listened from the side and understood what was going on. He smiled and said, "This is a good thing. With Elder Bai and Minister Shongshu here, it's even better to have a prime minister. If there's nothing to do, you guys can bully others for fun. With these two people here, even if you bully me, I have to endure. Without them, you have to endure even if they bully you. Now that you know who it is, I'll make you snow bean paste tonight." Wang Wan was not worried now that she knew who it was. She would act according to circumstances. Li Sun curled his lips. "Do you think I'm a child? You think you can scare me with snow bean paste? Didn't you say you were going to get rich? How do you get rich? Ask Xiao Bao. He said it just now." Wang Wan did not know how to get rich. She directly sent Li Sun to Zhang Xiaobao. "Xiaobao, don't tell me you are also going to make snow bean paste to fool me." Li Sun came to ask. Zhang Xiaobao was stunned. What did this have to do with him? This was not right. He looked at Wang Wan. Wang Wan had already turned her head to look at the house. He then looked at Li Sun. Li Sun had a look of desire. "Yes, young Master Li is right. It is snow bean paste. You even know about this. There are still a few days before midsummer. Then let's get rich for a few days first. You know about shaved ice, right? You know about ice cream, right? Next, we are going to make ice cream. The kind with bean stuffing in the middle." Zhang Xiaobao had no other choice. He could only come up with this idea. There were no ice fruits with stuffing yet. He could sell them for a few days and earn a few days' worth of money. Then, he told Li Sun how to make ice cream bit by bit. Will it really work? Won't the bean paste and ice hurt your stomach if you eat them all at once? Li Sun had never eaten ice cream before. He was slightly worried. "No, don't worry about it. Just cook the beans. It's autumn here, and it's not as cold as the north. We can still sell them for a month or two. It's just enough for the local people who have nothing to do to find a job." Zhang Xiaobao had to insist. Otherwise, he would be lying to Li Sun. "All right, I'll make it when I get back." "No, I'll send someone back immediately." "That's a good idea. I'm going to try it at Lu Zhou's place. It's more convenient there, and there's more sugar. What do you think about the mountain people on the island we occupied? When we bring them back, it'll be more difficult for the people of this dynasty to eat sugar than salt." Li Sun took this to heart. Not only did he want to experiment here, but he also wanted to bring this thing to Lu Zhou. After all, he had his holiday villa there. When Zhang Xiaobao saw Li Sun's insistence, he thought there would be no losses, so he nodded in agreement. "All right, that's a good idea. In that case, you'll send someone to support this business. In fact, people will eat these things even in winter." Li Sun fooled around and really sent someone back to make the ice cream. After knowing who was coming, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan could no longer let the group travel at a leisurely pace. After they found Zhang Zhong, the group sped up. At night, they only rested the horses for a while before they continued to move forward. When the sun rose again, Zhang Zhong finally returned to his residence. He originally thought that Yao Chong would be able to see him first, so he had already packed up. Unfortunately, Yao Chong did not seem to care about a provincial governor like him, even if he was a top scorer. The first people he wanted to meet were Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He did not know if Yao Chong liked smart children or if he thought the two children were easier to deal with. Zhang Xiaobao also thought Yao Chong would meet with his father first. After all, he would be living with the Zhang family and the Wang family in the future. Etiquette could not be neglected. Even if he did not come personally because of his status, he had to invite his father over. In the end, he was told that he and Wang Wan were invited over. It was a very small matter. If it were other children, it would be fine. Moreover, Zhang Zhong also had the same intention. However, Zhang Xiaobao was crazy. He would not allow others to look down on his family. He directly said to the person, "Sick. Cuckoo and I are both sick. We can't go for a while. Go back." The person looked at the big child in front of him in disbelief. He was a member of the Yao family. How could he be sent away like this? What illness? He could not tell. Riding on a horse, he could even make funny faces at the children in the house that he had never seen before. This made the person angry. He felt that the child in front of him was looking down on him. He snorted coldly and said, "What illness? Can you cure it? Do you have a toothache and you snort at me? I only know that pigs sleep after they are full. When they wake up, they eat. When they have nothing to do, they just snort. This is the first time I have seen a person with this illness. You are spoiled. Get lost. Who do you think you are?" Zhang Xiaobao was no longer as good-natured as before. He scolded the man and chased him away. "Xiaobao, you don't have to be like this, right? Since Lord Yao is looking for you, you can just go." Zhang Zhong was also listening at the side. Seeing that his son suddenly lost his temper, he advised. Zhang Xiaobao glared at the person who still dared to look back after leaving. He said to his father, "Father, face is given by others. You have to earn your own face." Does he think that he is the emperor and can tell whoever he wants to go over? Since he is here, he should see you first. Who would bypass the son just because the father is here? Isn't that scolding him? Seeing that his son said this, Zhang Zhong did not intend to persuade him anymore. He also thought that his son was right. Who would look for his son first and not him? Who knows who is older and who is younger? When the family saw that the father and son had made up their minds, they didn't care anymore and just did what they were supposed to do. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan sent the younger siblings and the two sisters who came from outside to their own courtyard and started to study again. The person who came to look for Yao Chong returned to Old Man Pai's courtyard. Old Man Pai had just arranged for people to buy more than a dozen houses nearby for Yao Chong and his family to live together. When he heard the person who went to look for Yao Chong, he asked, "What did you say to them?" In reply to Lord Bai, this lowly one said that Lord Yao and Lord Bai were looking for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. In the end, Zhang Xiaobao scolded this lowly one, saying that this lowly one's master is unreasonable and a pig. With a pa sound, Bai Go slapped the person's face, even if this person was a member of Yao Chong's family. The old man's strength was not small. He had taken good care of himself. The slap actually made the person stagger. After slapping the person, he met Yao Chong's puzzled gaze and said, "Yung, he must have taken advantage of your position to not talk nicely to you. Tell him that you told Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to rest first and that you would visit them in the afternoon. Tell him that you wanted to see Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan first and tell them that you wanted to see Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Tell them that you missed them." He must have gone directly and said that you wanted to see Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and asked them to come quickly. If it were another provincial governor's child, he would have come. What did a child know? The adults would not dare to stop him. However, how could Xiao Bao of the Zhang family be so easily fooled? He had already given you and me face by not letting him stay. If it were another person, Xiao Bao would have broken his leg. If you don't believe me, you can ask him whether it was true or not. After hearing Old Man Pai's words, Yao Chong immediately knew what he meant. If he were in Old Man Pai's shoes, he would also be angry. He looked at the person who was beaten and did not say anything. He just stared at him. "Master, I thought that since you are here, they should come to visit in person. I thought that they should find their child first. When I went over just now, not only did they not prepare to come, they even planned to rest." The man was so scared that he trembled and tried to defend himself. "Then the child of the Zhang family scolded me as a pig? It's my fault for not being strict enough. I let Long Zhe laugh at me. Go, get 30 lashes yourself." As soon as Yao Chong heard his subordinate's explanation, he understood. It was a typical case of taking advantage of one's position to bully others. He did not expect that such a thing could happen in his family. After driving the person away, Yao Chong thought for a while and really did not know what to do. If he went over now, they would be resting. If he did not go, then the Zhang family might think that he was the one who instigated what happened just now. In desperation, he could only look at Old Man Pai, hoping that he could help him make a decision. After all, he was familiar with the Zhang family and the Wang family. Old Man Pai thought for a while and said to Yao Chong, "Yuanji, why don't the two of us go and take a look? Have someone bring the things from the capital. I think the Zhang family and the Wang family should have received the news last night and should have rushed back. If we send someone to invite them, they should come over. Zhang Zhong is resting well, but his family must have a good rest." Yao Chong understood the meaning of these words. Since the person he sent had offended them, it was not good to send someone to invite them. He could only go himself. Not to mention that he was not the prime minister now. Even if he was, the Zhang family would not care. Who let them be so powerful? So what if they offended the prime minister? Let the emperor kill them? That was impossible. It was possible to send them away. It could be done with some tricks. But what about Xuzhou? The rent tax for this year had not been paid yet. Besides, what could they do even if they were sent away? Where would they be sent away? The last time they were sent to an official, it was no different from being sent away. If they were sent to Luzhou all of a sudden, other people would have a slim chance of survival. If the Zhang family and the Wang family went there, they would have a good life. Not only did they take care of the local people, but they also opened their business there. That was the most remote place. Oh, there was another place that was even more remote, and that was Chongzhou. It was isolated overseas. But others were afraid. But would the Zhang family be afraid? If they went there, they would be connected to Luzhou. They could not wait to go there. When he thought of this, Yao Chong looked at his clothes, nodded, and said, "All right, let's go and have a look. Let's see how many skills this Zhang Zhong has learned. Men, prepare the gifts and come with me." When Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao arrived at the provincial capital together, Zhang Zhong was looking through the things that had been left behind for the past few days. Most of the small matters had been settled by others. The rest was up to him to decide. For example, someone had proposed to build a bridge across the river. The person who proposed to build the bridge was a local minor official in charge of water conservancy. No one knew what he was thinking. How could he dare to propose such a thing? That was the Yangtze River, not a small river. How could he want to build a bridge on it? However, since he had proposed it, he had to take a good look at it. It was written very clearly. It was to use boats and find someone to cast countless large iron pillars. Then, they would send a big boat like the Zhang families and find a way to erect the pillars into the water. After that, they would put wood on top of the pillars. Whimsical. How did they figure it out? A minor official is a minor official. Where can they find so much iron? How can they transport it by boat? Do they think that my boat can hold up everything? If they could build a bridge, they would have built it on the Yellow River. The Yangtze River flows faster than the Yellow River. Zhang Zhong raised his pen and prepared to criticize this official. However, just as his pen was about to touch the paper, he stopped. The reason was very simple. He also hoped that there would be a bridge connecting the north and south. That way, it would be very convenient. The people who came and went would not have to take the risk of taking a boat. In addition to this advantage, it would be very convenient for transportation. He really did not have the ability, and the minor official's method would not work. However, he still had his son and daughter-in-law. If he asked them, they might be able to think of a way. Zhang Zhongru thought about it and wrote a few words on the paper that was sent to him. The meaning was that this method was not feasible. The problem of iron was not easy to solve. Even if the iron was obtained, the ship would not be able to carry it. He wanted him to think about it carefully. After commenting on this, just as Zhang Zhong was about to look at the next one, someone came to report that Official Bai and Official Yao had come to visit. Zhang Zhong could not ignore them. After all, they had come personally. It seemed that his son had done the right thing. As he let people open the door, he tidied his clothes and brought people to welcome them. This was a formal visit. Unlike usual, if it was Old Man Pai who came alone, there was no need to open the door. At this moment, he had to be polite. As the door creaked open, Zhang Zhong quickly stood at the door and said to Bai Go and Yao Chong, "I did not know that Official Bai and Official Yao would be here. I hope that you will forgive me for not welcoming you. Please come in. Lord Zhang is indeed young and capable. Sorry for disturbing you. Please come in." Yao Chong understood that they were welcoming him. Old Man Pai did not need to be welcomed. He came here as if it was his own home. The three of them were polite until they came to the living room. As the servants served tea and snacks, Zhang Zhong spoke first. "Official Yao, you have traveled a long way. Have you gotten used to it? If you feel uncomfortable, you only need to send someone here. There is no need to trouble yourself to come here." "Yes, I have seen many things along the way. However, the place I want to see the most is Shuzhou. As long as Lord Zhang is there, I think the lives of the people will be good." Yao Chong also spoke politely. It was not the first time he came out. How could he not get used to it? He already knew what this place was like. "Yongqing, this is Yuanji, and he does not plan to leave. He wants to stay here with this old man. Yuanji's body is not very good. I will have to trouble you." At this time, Old Man Pai also spoke. With one sentence, he closed the relationship, no longer being polite. "Is that so? Good. With Official Yao by my side, I will have to ask for more advice in the future. I will arrange it. Even though Zhang Zhong had almost guessed it, he was very excited when he heard Old Man Pai's words at this moment. He had one more powerful person by his side. As long as there was something he did not understand, he could ask. He could not always trouble his son. His son and daughter-in-law had to study by themselves, take care of their younger siblings, and give ideas from time to time. What if they were tired? Zhang Zhong was a man of his word. He called people over. One was to let the doctors get ready. The other was to let the chefs of Sea Cloud House see what kind of recipes they should make. The treatment could not be bad. At least, it had to be the same as by Go. It did not matter how much money was spent. This kind of good thing was that others did not have the chance to spend money even if they wanted to. Old Man Pai looked at Zhang Zhong's arrangement and signaled Yao Chong with his eyes. He meant to say, "Did you see that? I am not wrong, right?" After Zhang Zhong arranged it, Old Man Pai asked again, "I heard that Xiao Bao and Cuckoo are sick. I have to go and see them." "Ah, sick? Oh, what happened before?" "It's all because of Xiao Bao's bad temper. I don't know what happened to this child. He drove them away." "Why bother?" Zhang Zhong knew what Bai Go meant. He sighed and said. Yao Chong knew that this was an opportunity to solve the misunderstanding, so he told the whole story. He mainly emphasized that his family was not strict enough. Since he had said it, Zhang Zhong did not think about it. He could also see that the two people did not want to say much to him. They mainly wanted to introduce their son and daughter-in-law. When they were almost done, he said, "Xiao Bao and Cuckoo are reading in the courtyard of the Four Little Guys. Please follow me." "No, you do your work. You have a lot of things to do. First finish the things that have been put down for the past few days. UNG and I will go there by ourselves." Old Man Pai saw the documents on the case when he passed by just now. He did not want to disturb them. Zhang Zhong was really a good official. He wanted to do something practical for the people. Zhang Zhong did not insist. He found someone to accompany them. After he sent them to the door, he turned back to continue his work. Since the people kept saying that he was a good official, he had to pretend. Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao came to the courtyard of the children under the guidance of others. At this time, the 6 children were rolling around on the marble ground. Only 3 of the things that were shining on the ground were not extinguished. The rest were all gone. The maids did not care much. They just watched by the side. As long as they rolled over, they would push them back. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were playing chess not far away. After reading for a while, they felt that it was a little unsuitable. After all, they had been out for a few days. They needed to rest when they came back, so they began to play chess. Both of them were not stupid. They had come into contact with Go before. Wang Wan had learned it at home, while Zhang Xiaobao had scammed them. Who asked those officials to be so useless in governing the country? They were always studying calligraphy, painting, playing Go, antiques, and so on. Some of them could even sing a couple of pop songs. No one knew where they learned it from. When meeting such people, they could not talk about the people and the livelihood of the people. Zhang Xiaobao had to study this kind of thing that had nothing to do with the people's livelihood in order to cheat people. Chapter 567. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were playing the current version of Go, not the modified version from Japan. This was not because of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's views on Japan. Although both of them were very anti-Japanese, in terms of Go, they had to admit that after Japan's changes, it was more fair to play. The reason why the 2 of them played this way was to cater to others in the future. For example, if they were playing Go with an official, they couldn't ask the official to play according to their rules, right? The official could be suppressed, but if the emperor played Go with them, they could also tell the emperor that their rules were not good, they had to play according to their rules. Then, the emperor would not have it easy. If he didn't kill them, would he be relieved? This rule was originally an old rule, but for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, it was a new rule. The 2 of them were not used to it. They had been playing Go for 3 years, and it was still the same now. Their previous thinking always affected the current way of playing. But even so, with the experience of their predecessors, the Go they played was not comparable to ordinary people, especially the various ancient Go records. If they wanted to learn Go, they first had to understand the rules, then they had to play the records. The 2 of them were playing Go now. When Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao came over, they just happened to see the layout of the Go board. The 2 of them were stunned at the same time. Just as they were about to take a closer look, Zhang Xiaobao suddenly wiped the Go pieces, messed up the Go board, and said, "I'm not playing anymore, I always lose." Well, then I'm not playing anymore. Wang Wan also found that there were 2 more people watching. This kind of famous game could not be taken out casually. It was easy to be praised high and then be flattened. The 2 of them stopped playing, but Old Man Bai and Old Man Yao had memorized quite a lot of what they had just seen. They felt that something was not right with this Go game. At the very least, it was not something that 2 children could play. It was as if they had seen the gleam of the blade and the shadow of the sword amidst the majestic wind. It could be said that every step was thrilling. How was it possible? Seeing that they messed up the Go board, the 2 old men were more certain that it was not simple. "Let's continue," said Old Man Pai, who wanted to continue watching. "I'm not playing anymore. It's not fun." "Grandpa Bai, you're back? Did you eat well outside?" Zhang Xiaobao asked Old Man Pai as he started to put the chess pieces into the box. All right. Actually, a few more days won't hurt. It's good to go out for a walk. I heard that you and Cuckoo are sick." "What happened?" Old Man Pai deliberately teased Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Zhang Xiaobao glanced at the other person and knew that it was Yao Chong. It was a good opportunity to vent his anger, so he replied, "Actually, it's not a serious illness. I'm just tired. So tired that I fell ill. My head hurts. I'm playing chess to relieve it." This was the first time the two old men had heard that a headache could be relieved by playing chess. Wouldn't that mean that the more they played, the more painful their head would be? Old Man Pai continued to ask, "How did you get tired?" Zhang Xiaobao was waiting for this sentence. Math. Calculating and calculating made me tired. It said that from here to the riverside, you have to walk 660,000 feet. From the riverside, you only need 640,000 feet. How is it short? Cuckoo, and I haven't been able to calculate it. It also said that if I were to walking 1,800 feet would be the same as walking 2,200 feet for Cuckoo. They're both 200 feet long, and then... Wait, why do you have to use a ruler to calculate? If the number is too big, wouldn't it be too small if it's changed to li? When the time comes, it'll be easy to calculate it into a ruler. Yao Cheng didn't know what was wrong with him. He also wanted to learn from Old Man Pai and tease Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Zhang Xiaobao really didn't expect the two of them to be fooled. However, when Yao Cheng asked, Zhang Xiaobao finally found an excuse and immediately said, "There's no other way." Originally, this place was also reasonable. However, since people who don't understand reason started to not understand it, then we can only use a ruler and a zhang to calculate. Yao Cheng was in his teens and had seen everything in his life. He had long become unperturbed. However, when he heard Zhang Xiaobao's words today, his old face turned red. He understood that Zhang Xiaobao was scolding someone, and the person he was scolding was him. He was saying that he was unreasonable. Who asked the person he sent to not do a good job? No, he would go back and give him 20 more whips. Without him, would he be scolded? Ha 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 ha. How about it, Yuanji? Now you know, right? It's fine to offend adults, but you can't offend children. Xiaobao, be reasonable. Everyone is reasonable. Some people are lawless just because the people behind them are powerful. Since they have been dealt with, don't make things difficult for others. Tell us, what is the thing that dropped? Old Man Pai laughed. After laughing until Yao Cheng's face turned from red to black, he said something to Zhang Xiaobao. He believed that Zhang Xiaobao would understand what he meant. Zhang Xiaobao indeed understood. It seemed that that person must have been dealt with when he went back. That was why Grandpa Bai and Yao Cheng came over personally. Since someone was unlucky, then forget it. Yao Cheng wasn't that stupid. He could clearly distinguish what should be done and what shouldn't be done. Grandpa Bai, it seems that you are a blessed person. My head doesn't hurt anymore when you come. Cuckoo, how about you? Zhang Xiaobao had recovered. Wang Wan nodded, meaning that she had also recovered. It was very miraculous. Since you don't feel uncomfortable anymore, then tell me why the thing that was hung up lit up. Old Man Pai had been troubled by this matter. He couldn't sleep well. Zhang Xiaobao was waiting for these 3 lights to go out. When that time came, he would see what was going on. Was it a problem with the material, or was it because the air wasn't sucked dry? At this time, when he heard Old Man Pai ask, he said, "This thing can't be explained in a sentence or two. There are too many things involved. Grandpa Bai, you just need to know that this thing uses a type of electricity, and the place where the windmill is can produce electricity." What is electricity? For example, when you wear a sweater in the winter and take it off when you sleep, sometimes you can hear crackling sounds and see sparks. This is a type of electricity. Electricity can be used to make this thing light up. After Zhang Xiaobao spoke, Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao both sank into deep thought. They had indeed only encountered the kind of thing that happened when you took off your sweater in the winter. So this was the case. The electricity that lit up. This thing was probably the thing that could cause that kind of situation to happen continuously. Then what is the use of this thing? Does it mean that we don't need to light candles in the future? Is it expensive? Old Man Pai had long known that the Zhang family wanted to make money by making something, so he directly asked for the price. It's expensive. The thing that can produce electricity costs 1,000 strings of coins. It uses a lot of copper and also requires magnets. This thing is cheaper. It costs 50 strings of coins. It can't be sold now. The time that it lights up is too short.
No one can spend that kind of money. We have to think of a way to make it light up for a longer time.
Zhang Xiaobao repeated what he thought to Old Man Pai. Anyway, the price had already been set. No one could change it. Old Man Pai estimated the price and knew that it could not be used by ordinary people.
The thing that could make this thing light up cost 1,000 strings of coins. How many ordinary people could not earn money in their lifetime? And the thing that could light up cost 50 strings of coins.
How could ordinary people afford it? Seeing Old Man Pai frown, Zhang Xiaobao knew what Old Man Pai was thinking.
This wish was beautiful, but it could not be realized. After all, the technology was there.
Did he want to connect the whole country to electricity?
This project should be completed by future generations.
He did not have the ability to do so. What he could do was to use this thing to make money, and at the same time, change people's minds.
Grandpa Bai, actually, it doesn't have to be so expensive. As long as you buy a lot of these things called light bulbs, you can get a free thing that can produce electricity. After research and understanding it, these light bulbs should be able to be used for a month. One light bulb can light up at least 10 candles.
It's cheaper than lighting candles, Zhang Xiaobao added.
Old Man Yao nodded. He felt that it was indeed so. That meant it was saving money. However, Old Man Pai did not think so.
He asked Zhang Xiaobao, "Is that thing that can produce electricity able to make many light bulbs light up?"
Yes, more or less. As long as there is a good place and power that can make the generator work, it won't be a problem even if 100 light bulbs light up.
When the time comes, the whole yard will be lit up. Zhang Xiaobao already felt that Old Man Pai had found the problem.
Sure enough, after Old Man Pai heard this answer, he said, "That is to say, as long as this thing called generator can make as many light bulbs light up, people who can afford it will try their best to make as many light bulbs light up as possible, right?
You can't let the generator's electricity go to waste, right?
Also, every rich family will compare themselves with each other.
You are selling too many light bulbs. It's not like you don't know how much a light bulb is worth. Can't it be 20 strings of coins? How much is it worth?
Grandpa Bai, how much do you think this light bulb is worth?
Give me a number. My family will pay for it. As long as my family can afford it, I will buy it.
You can get someone to make one. It's best if it can be a light bulb that can last longer."
Zhang Xiaobao immediately asked. Old Man Pai was speechless. He really didn't think about the problem of technology. Other people didn't know how to make glass. Even if they could use colored glass to replace it, they wouldn't be able to make such a shape. Who knew that the light bulb was blown out? Even if the shape was blown out, how could it light up?
No one knew what was inside. Even though he knew how the glass was made, people who didn't know wouldn't be able to make it even if they had millions of strings of coins. This was the most valuable part.
Just like the propeller. How much did it cost to make a propeller? Wasn't it just stainless steel? Why couldn't others know about it?
It was because they were afraid that others would learn it. Technology was the most important. The simplest example was how much a cucumber in winter in the north was worth. How many cucumbers could be grown with that technology? Old Man Pai was no longer the person who used to measure things based on their actual value. He knew the importance of technology. After considering all kinds of aspects, Old Man Pai looked at Old Man Yao and asked Zhang Xiaobao, "Xiaobao, tell me the truth. How much is the cost of this thing, not including the cost of the technology?"
Zhang Xiaobao didn't answer. Instead, he looked at Old Man Yao.
Old Man Yao immediately swore, "I promise that I won't tell anyone outside of this place. Otherwise, my Yao family will have no descendants.
I won't even tell the emperor."
Zhang Xiaobao smiled and said, "Actually, I'm not afraid that you two grandpas will tell anyone. At most, it's just the last thing. To be honest, this light bulb costs 5 or 6 coins. The expensive part is the generator.
It needs magnets or good magnets. More importantly, it needs a lot of copper.
1 copper is 1,000 pieces. It can be made with less than 20 strings of copper. If you include the various wires, that is to say, with 30 strings of copper, it won't be a problem to buy 1,000 light bulbs in a generator. If you include the windmill and the consumption after failure, 40 strings of copper will be enough.
Then why is your family selling it so expensive?
The two old men said at the same time. Their hearts also lit up. A light bulb only cost 4 or 5 coins and could be lit for more than a month. Didn't that mean that ordinary people with a little money could use it? 1 generator per family would be enough. A generator like that could light up 1,000 light bulbs, and it wouldn't break down so easily. If 1,000 families used 1 generator, then the cost would be even lower. There was indeed little copper, but wasn't there copper in the newly discovered place?
Zhang Xiaobao knew what they were thinking when he saw their expressions. He said, "Grandpa Bai, Grandpa Yao, it's not what you think. I said that a generator can light up 1,000 light bulbs, but that's only in theory."
Grandpa Bai knows what theory is. It's impossible in reality.
It can't be turned that fast.
Moreover, this generator also has a time limit.
It's about the same as the light bulbs. It's not bad to use it for 2 months.
It has to be done bit by bit.
You can't eat a mouthful and become fat.
Ah, so that's how it is.
Then 100 families will do.
At most, the cost of this generator, your family will pay for it. Let's light up a state first.
Old Man Yao and Zhang Xiaobao's families had only been in contact for a short time.
There were many things that he didn't know, which was why he said that. We can pay for it, but can you guarantee that this technology won't be stolen by others? Especially this generator. If others learn it, then trouble will come. Grandpas, come with me. I'll show you something fun.
As Zhang Xiaobao spoke, he pulled Wang Wan up and asked someone to bring out a generator from the warehouse. He put it on the carriage and drove with the 2 old men. After an hour, they arrived at the side of a large river. They tied up a horse and asked someone to drive it to provide power. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan each took a line to the side of the river. They found a good position and put the 2 lines into the water. Old Man Bai and Old Man Yao saw an extremely frightening scene. The fishes in the water started to float up, one by one.
Grandpa Bai, Grandpa Yao, do you see this? This thing can be used like this.
It has a wide range of uses.
If we want to light up a state, how many people would have to be sent to guard each place?
How much manpower would the guards have to waste? It's not worth it, Zhang Xiaobao said as he took back one of the lines in his hand. This was what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan valued the most.
This was technology that could generate electricity. Anything that was produced in the future would require the support of this generator.
There was an even more important matter that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not mention. Now was not the right time to tell them. Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao finally understood.
The generator was very important and had many uses. If it was stolen or taken away, the Tang Empire would suffer a great loss. Treasure, it really is a treasure. No wonder you said that you had to meet their requirements.
So that's why, Old Man Yao said with emotion.
Old Man Pai knew that he was not talking about the generator, but the person that the Zhang family could not find. Things were dead, but people were alive. The real treasure was the person. With such a person, what else was there to worry about? Old Man Bai understood this principle a long time ago.
That's why, no matter what, we can't tell anyone.
Otherwise, unless we can catch them all at once, it might not be useful even if we catch them. Many people can't even pry open their mouths, not to mention those 2 people who can calculate.
Old Man Pai said this close to Old Man Yao's ear.
He meant to tell him not to have any crooked thoughts. It was useless.
The Zhang family would naturally give them what they could.
If they did not give it, it was because it did not belong to the people's livelihood or because it had not been researched properly.
Old Man Yao nodded. He understood now. It was not that the Zhang family and Wang family were not unpatriotic.
It was just that there were many things that could not be used directly. They had to be researched thoroughly before they could be used. Otherwise, it would be easy for spies from other countries to learn.
When we have earned enough money, the first thing we will do is to get people to build more ships. Then we will go out to sea and go to places further away, Zhang Xiaobao said after he put away the things. Where are we going? The two old men asked again at the same time. Even if I tell you, you won't know. It's very far away. It's even further away than the island that belonged to Tang Empire that was just discovered last year. There are things we need there. If we want to let the people use this kind of light bulb, we have to go there. Maybe we can find more copper mines along the way. Now, we can ask the Ministry of Works to send people over. We will teach them, research little by little, and improve little by little. When the day comes, we will be able to let the people of Tang Empire use this kind of thing and produce better things. Zhang Xiaobao could not say, and he could not explain it clearly. He could not tell the two old men that the Zhang family and Wang family needed a fleet to go to the Straits of Malacca, or even further away. He would not go there personally, as it would be easy for him to get lost in the sea. Old Man Pai knew that the Zhang family had many secrets, so he did not press them. It was not a coincidence that he could understand so many things now. He had put in a lot of effort to gain the recognition of the Zhang family and Wang family. Otherwise, with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's smart looks, how could they reveal all the secrets? Old Man Yao was also getting used to it. He also understood that the two children in front of him were not easy to fool, especially after Zhang Xiaobao's reaction after the people he sent did the wrong thing. Other than the current emperor who was smart when he was young, whose child could be so smart? He immediately knew that he should not come to meet him and Old Man Pai. On the way back, Old Man Pai deliberately sat in the same car as Old Man Yao and drove Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to another car. He still had something to say to Old Man Yao. "Yung, you must remember one thing. That is, it is not a big deal to lie to Xiaobao and Cuckoo. The two children are just playing with us. It is okay to be tricked and suffer losses, but you must not lie to their families. For his father, that Xiaobao is willing to do anything." Old Man Pai warned Old Man Yao in the car. Old Man Yao was really not clear about this matter. He asked, "Long Zhe, what will happen if I bully Zhang Zhong? After bullying me, he will run back to the capital. What can that child do? Then he can ask the emperor to hand you over. If he doesn't hand you over, he will blow up the capital. Don't doubt whether he will do it or not. Don't test whether he dares or not. There is only one chance. He is special to his family. Look at the 4 children's houses. Don't you know?" When Old Man Pai thought of how Zhang Xiaobao dealt with people who looked down on his father or bullied his father, he trembled like a madman. In addition, the Zhang family did have something very dangerous, so no one could stop him. Old Man Yao nodded and said, "I saw it. Although the outside of the house is well made and other spices are used, I smell it. There is agarwood inside. Could it be?" "Yes, the entire house is made of agarwood. Xiaobao and Cuckoo are very good to their family. The master who taught them also seems to spoil them. Many things are not made to make money, but to make their family more comfortable. The two children are smart, but the best thing about them is not in their studies, but in their cooking and making clothes. The clothes they make are the most comfortable to wear, and the food they make is also the best. It is to make their family more comfortable. Do you understand?" Old Man Pai touched his clothes, meaning that he also had clothes made for the two children. Yao Cheng had experienced so many things in his life, but now he was shocked by Old Man Pai's words. He really did not expect it to be like this. He could not understand, really could not understand. At the same time, he was a little jealous of the Zhang family and the Wang family. They gave birth to a son and a daughter, and they were so sensible and filial since they were young. Now you know, right? This is also the reason why I am not willing to interact with the rest of the Zhang family and the Wang family. If I don't pay attention when I speak, the two children will definitely be angry, so I usually stay with the two children. The food they make is delicious, and they know how to take care of people. There is nothing wrong with joking with them and lying to them. Many people do not know and offend Zhang Zhong. The result is that they can neither live nor die. Needless to say, the two children will blow up the capital for their family. With their methods and the guidance of the master behind them, they can use benefits to exchange for other people's lives. If you don't believe me, you can find someone with enough power to try and see if they will give up all their technology in order to buy that person's life. If you don't like anyone, you can ask that person to come and find trouble with Zhang Zhong. Old Man Pai looked at Old Man Yao's shocked expression and said a few more words. This time, Old Man Yao finally believed him. He did not think that Old Man Pai would lie to him. He asked, "Then how can I let the two children follow me and ask for more information in the future?" "That's simple. Just teach them knowledge, and they will follow you. They are very eager to learn. After teaching them you will know. It is lucky to be able to teach such children. Smart, you can't find anyone smarter." Chapter 568. Old Man Bai and Old Man Yao did not bring up the matter of the light bulb again. Wang Wan also took out the knowledge that she had taught Zhang Xiaobao and taught it to the two old men. Old Man Pai had the foundation of nature, so he could learn relatively quickly. Old Yao was confused when he saw what Wang Wan had written. He could only let Old Man Pai teach him the first part first. At this time, the military registrar and the others couldn't stay idle. The two mines couldn't be mined yet, so there were people who went to take a look from time to time. These people weren't sent by Zhang Zhong, but they were related to Zhang Zhong. After all, he had asked many people to go there to recite poems. Other people went there to see if the scenery was as beautiful as what was written in the poems. As a result, there were people going there every day. Some people didn't even care about the poems and just went there to look at the scenery. There were also people who specialized in fishing on top of the copper mines. The military registrar and the others wanted to secretly seal off the mines, but the Zhang family's people had to take a look every time they passed by, so they couldn't do anything. On this day, the military registrar called the 6 people over. At the same time, he asked the county magistrate of Taihu County to find an excuse to come over. The 8 of them were ready to discuss. In fact, the county magistrate of Taihu County didn't want to come at all. He had the least benefits, but he had to bear the most risks. He could imagine that if something happened to the 2 mines, the first person to be dealt with would be him. After all, he was the county magistrate there. But he had no other choice. He couldn't find a way to transfer himself away, and it wasn't the first time he had cooperated with other people. Once he boarded the pirate ship, it was harder to get out. The 8 of them gathered together under the reluctance of the county magistrate. The military registrar spoke first. "You know what happened recently. Besides Bai Go, there is another person we can't afford to offend. Maybe in a few days, there will be more people coming. If that time comes, we won't have any chance. With high officials like them, what can they not understand? At the same time, their methods are not ordinary. Now, I want to ask, what are you going to do? Are we going to keep the mines like we are doing now, or are we going to follow the instructions in the letter?" He spoke casually, as if it had nothing to do with him. Every time he said, "You guys," the 7 of them understood. What he meant was that if something went wrong, they would have to bear the responsibility, but if they got something good, they would have to join the army and take the lion's share. The 7 of them were under a lot of pressure. The one with the most pressure was the county magistrate of Taihu County. He opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but in the end, he closed it again. He knew that even if he really came up with a good idea, no one would credit him for it. Why bother? After all, it was not his problem alone. At this time, he had already decided that if he was really regarded as a scapegoat, he would say whatever he wanted to say. He would not care about others at all, even if they threatened him with his family. He was not ignorant at all. He knew that most of the time, what others said was simply a lie. They said something like, "Protect your family, don't let go, and find a way to get some poison to feed you. Everything will be fine after you eat it. In the end, everything will be fine. In the future, no one will care whether your family lives or dies." That was exactly what he thought. He closed his mouth tightly, waiting to see what the others would say. As he thought, The other 6 people kept looking at him unconsciously, which meant that he had to take the responsibility. He pretended not to see it. At this time, the military registrar also echoed, "Well, that's right. It's not easy now. If we have to wait for Zhang Zhong to leave, it will take more than a year. How much less mining will we have to do? Even if we can wait, the people above can't wait. It's all money. How about this? In Taihu County, we will chase away all the people who want to watch the show. Then we won't have to worry about being discovered by others. What do you think?" When he said that, the county magistrate of Taihu County really wanted to bite him to death. It was easy to say, but could things really be done that way? If he gave the order, he would be courting death. This was not only known by the county magistrate of Taihu County, but also by the other people. They did not agree with the military registrar's words. What was the use of saying a way to harm others? If they really did harm to a county magistrate, who could guarantee that the new county magistrate would be obedient? The military registrar was reasonable. He glared at the military registrar and said, "This method definitely won't work. If that's the case, Zhang Zhong will have an excuse. With one less person, we will have less strength. Think about it again. If there is really no good way, then we will do as what is written in the letter. When we do it, we have to be discreet and not let anyone find out. Otherwise, not only will we lose our lives, but our families will also be implicated. Who can do anything about it? You don't have to be afraid, just say it and we will discuss it together." "Let's use that method, I agree." When the military registrar saw that his superior was looking at him, he could only choose to support him, even if his heart was beating faster and faster. "Wait, I think we don't have to do this. There are other methods." At this time, the county magistrate of Taihu County could no longer remain silent. He was scared to death. Even if he was not allowed to send people this time, he could not think of running away. If that was the case, it was better to use his own 2 methods. The other 7 people immediately looked at him, hoping that he could come up with a better idea. After taking 2 deep breaths, the county magistrate of Taihu County said, "One is to seal off those 2 places and prevent others from going there. Then, we can secretly mine." "I already said this just now, but you didn't say anything," the military registrar said unhappily. The county magistrate of Taihu County could not refute, so he could only bear with it and explain, "My method is not to force people to go there. That will definitely cause trouble. However, we can act mysterious and scare people so that they won't dare to go there. As long as you give me 10 days, I have a way to come up with a second method, which is to lure Zhang Zhong to investigate us. If he doesn't investigate us, then it's fine. As long as he does, then we have an excuse to impeach him. At the same time, we can also get help from the higher-ups." "Oh, is it really feasible? Tell me in detail." The military registrar was interested. Just like what the county magistrate of Taihu County thought, if there was a mistake, he could push the blame to others. If there was a merit, then he would take the biggest share. It would be a waste not to take advantage of such benefits. The county magistrate of Taihu County felt very wronged, but he had no choice but to say the entire method to get everyone to agree. He really did not dare to do as the letter said. That was a disaster that could destroy his entire family. If he harmed others, he would not be able to get away with it. However, the higher-ups would be fine. After the county magistrate of Taihu County explained his method, the military registrar was the first to praise, "Good, not bad. We have discussed a good method today. Now, we will let the county magistrate of Taihu County carry it out. Does anyone have any other ideas?" "Sir, you are indeed amazing. You have so many ideas. I admire you." "I have no other opinions," the military registrar immediately said. The other 5 judges also kept on praising the military registrar. The county magistrate of Taihu County did not have any angry expression, even though the method he just said was thought of by the military registrar in less than 10 breaths. "You must do this well. Don't waste the method we thought of. There is no other method like this. You must cherish it," the military registrar said to the county magistrate of Taihu County with a kind face. Sir, please rest assured. I will definitely do this well. Thank you for your advice. What else could Taihu County's county magistrate say? He had seen shameless people before. However, he could only bear with it since he had turned into a shameless and two-faced person. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were not here, so they did not know the content of the conversation. Otherwise, they would realize that these officials were no different from the officials of their time. It meant that if the people below wanted to achieve good results, they had to first pass the method to the higher-ups. Then, it would become the higher-ups' idea. This way, the results would belong to the higher-ups. If the results were wrong, the people below would bear the responsibility. If the results were right, they would be promoted and become rich. If the officials below dared to do a good job without the higher-ups knowing, the first thing they would do was to suppress them with public opinion. When they realized that the public opinion could not suppress them, they would transfer them to the retirement section. It would be useless even if the people jointly wanted to protect the good officials. In addition to this kind of official circle, there was also the academic circle. As long as the disciple researched something, it would belong to the teacher. All the results, including the thesis, would belong to the teacher. Otherwise, it would be disrespectful to the teacher. This was also the reason why so many talents stayed abroad and did not come back. At this time, the 8 officials were performing such a scene. It was a blatant robbery. They had to smile and flatter when they were being robbed. Just like what Zhang Xiaobao once said to Wang Wan, the real actors were not in the film industry, but in the official circle. Therefore, if they wanted to cheat, it was better to cheat the officials than to cheat the actors. The 8-party meeting ended. The county magistrate of Taihu County left with the military registrar's good idea. He did not need to ask too much about the details because he knew better than anyone. After adding one more old man, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had to take some time to accompany the 3 old men every day. For example, they would electrocute the fish and paint the light bulbs in various colors. Anyway, they could always find something fun to do. Ever since they had the generator, the 3 old men had stopped fishing. They felt that this thing was more interesting. In the spirit of research, they would go to the generator once or twice a day. In the past 5 days, they had even been electrocuted themselves. Fortunately, the electrocution could be stopped at any time. The 3 old men were not in life-threatening danger. According to Wang Wan's words, one would know the strength of the wine after getting drunk. One would know the strength of the wine after getting electrocuted. After the 3 old men and the 2 children came to the river, the old men decided to give the electrocution to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, even if the 2 of them had no interest in it. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already prepared. The 2 of them took out a pair of large leather boots, the kind that was made of 2 layers of leather. They put gum in the middle and stepped into the water. After feeling it for a while, they put the wires in their hands into the water. They also wore gloves on their hands. The 2 of them were not as stupid as the 3 old men. They did not know the insulation and directly jumped into the river. It would be strange if they were not electrocuted. Xiao Bao, Cuckoo, how can you do this? Can this thing prevent people from being electrocuted? Why didn't you say so before? Old man Chong pretended to be angry and said, after he was electrocuted, he felt uncomfortable from his head, neck, and stomach. Now that he saw the things that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan used, he immediately understood that there was a way to protect them. In the past, the 2 little guys were unwilling to take it out. Ah! What? Cuckoo and I are actually afraid of water. We get confused when we see water, especially when we stand in the water. That's why we wear boots. Grandpa Zhang, since you want one, I'll make one for you later. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan explained to Old Man Chong after they had been electrocuted for more than 10 days. Old Man Chong was stunned for a moment before nodding. It was not that he acknowledged Zhang Xiaobao's words, but that he acknowledged Zhang Xiaobao's shamelessness. When had Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ever been afraid of water? Amidst the laughter of the crowd, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already electrocuted quite a lot of fish. It seemed that it was enough for their families to eat today. Only then did they stop.
Just as the two of them stopped, before they could explain anything, a fast horse came to their side. The person on the horse did not even dismount and said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, "Young master, young lady, Taihu County is haunted. Now, no one dares to go there. Master asked me to come and find you two to go back."
Haunted? I think it's just a trick. Even a big ghost like me can't do anything. Who would dare to?
Zhang Xiaobao did not believe in ghosts at all. If it was another place, he might hesitate. However, it was impossible for something like this to happen in Taihu County. The only explanation was that the other party had thought of a way and was preparing to mine. To Zhang Xiaobao, this was good.
He was waiting for an opportunity to occupy the two mines. To be precise, he was waiting for Li Sun to occupy them. He was worried about where to start. Now that the other party had made a move, what should he do? He could only accept it. After letting the person go back first, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan prepared to leave. The three old men did not know about this matter and immediately stopped them. "Xiaobao, Cuckoo, what happened? Which place is haunted? How is that possible?" Old Man Pai asked doubtfully.
Zhang Xiaobao saw that the three of them were also concerned about this matter, so he could only tell the three of them what had happened.
"They are too bold. Don't they know that our dynasty is currently lacking in copper? They actually want to secretly mine at this time.
No, this matter cannot be let go so easily.
I will write a report to impeach them." Old Man Yao was angry and was about to do it. Old Man Pai immediately pulled him back and said, "Let's see what Xiaobao and Cuckoo have to say. In fact, it's not a big deal.
The main thing is that we can't find evidence. Now that we are not afraid of them taking action, we are afraid that they have been hiding.
Now it seems that they can't bear it anymore.
That's good.
Maybe we can find their weakness. When the time comes, we will talk about it."
These two mines have already been given to Li Sun. When the time comes, the marble mine will be managed by Li Sun himself. Even if the copper mine is mined, it will be sent to the capital. Li Sun will not refine copper himself, so you can rest assured. Three grandpas, you don't have to interfere. Just watch from the side.
It's just a small matter. My family has already prepared. Isn't it just a ghost?
Let them be. Zhang Xiaobao was afraid that the three old men would want to meddle in this matter. That would make things difficult for him. After all, he had already promised Li Sun 2 mines. Even if there was one that Li Sun would not be able to obtain in the end.
Yes. We are worried for nothing. How can we be needed for this kind of thing?
The Zhang family must have already made arrangements.
Since that's the case, let's do it. Does your family want to catch ghosts? Old Man Pai only reacted when he heard Zhang Xiaobao's words.
He felt that it was impossible that the two masters of the Zhang family did not know about this kind of thing.
Since they knew, of course, they would have a way to deal with it. Why were they still worrying here?
Zhang Xiaobao did not explain and said, "We have to catch ghosts, but we can't go now.
No matter what, we have to wait until they have mined enough ore. If we go now, we won't get anything. The people here are ghostly.
They are even more ghostly than ghosts." "Oh. Then I really need to take a good look and see what kind of methods your Zhang family has."
This old man remembers now.
"Your courtyard, oh, it's Xiaobei's courtyard.
Could it be that the marble stones in that mine came from?
No wonder your family is so generous and directly gave the children something to play with."
Old Man Pai thought of the marble floor as he spoke.
At first, he was wondering where the Zhang family found such good stones.
Now, everything was clear. The Zhang family should have gotten a batch of such things.
That made sense.
Zhang Xiaobao did not admit to this. Since he already knew, why should he say more?
After getting on the horse with Wang Wan, he did not wait for the three old men to return and ran back home.
As soon as he entered the house, he saw Zhang Zhong sitting there waiting. Zhang Zhong also saw his son and daughter-in-law at the same time.
He stood up and asked the two of them, "Something happened over there."
I heard that a person went crazy.
Then a few people went over and also went crazy.
They don't know anything. It's haunted.
Can you go and catch them?
Zhang Zhong really believed that the place was haunted.
Now, he was counting on the two immortal children to go and catch the ghost so that the future plan could be carried out.
We can catch them. Dad, you don't have to worry. It's just a small matter. Leave it to me and Cuckoo. Don't worry now. We can catch them in a few days.
At this time, the ghost is still not strong enough.
Zhang Xiaobao said with certainty.
Wasn't it just a ghost? If they wanted to catch it, then just catch it.
When the time came, what else could they do?
With his son's words, Zhang Zhong was relieved.
Until now, he still thought that his son was telling the truth. The news of Taihu County being haunted spread like wildfire. Soon, everyone knew about it.
Not only did the people from the province know about it, even the people from the neighboring provinces also knew about it. Originally, many people wanted to go and take a look at the places that Zhang Zhong had been to, but now, they gave up on this idea. They were also afraid. No matter how powerful Zhang Zhong was, he was still a mortal. That place was haunted. Especially after knowing about the haunted place, Zhang Zhong was still indifferent. This made more people anxious. In their opinion, even if the provincial governor Zhang Zhong didn't go and take a look himself, he should at least find someone to catch the ghost. However, provincial governor Zhang Zhong didn't do anything. The first thought that came to the people's minds was that even the provincial governor couldn't do anything. Perhaps he had secretly sent someone to catch the ghost but failed.
What would he do in the future?
Under such an atmosphere, a rumor spread. It said that Zhang Zhong was an unlucky person.
Otherwise, why would he be haunted after coming to Xuzhou? Especially when he personally went to the two places in Taihu Lake.
In the beginning, no one believed this rumor at all. However, as more and more people talked about it, those who didn't believe it couldn't help but think in this direction. Now, the thing that the people wanted to see the most was Zhang Zhong personally come out to clarify the matter.
However, Zhang Zhong still didn't do anything.
It was as if he had admitted to this matter. The people started to panic. They weren't worried that Zhang Zhong had really attracted the ghost. They were worried about this year's harvest. If it was really like what others said, that provincial governor Zhang was an unlucky person, then would the provincial government still be able to succeed? This was a lot of money. Even though they had already agreed that they wouldn't have to compensate even if they failed, they had still put in effort. If they didn't do this work, they could do other things outside to earn more money.
Now, their time was delayed.
As they thought about it, the people's hearts started to become unstable.
Zhang Zhong also knew about the situation outside and was very anxious.
In a situation where there was no other way, he went to find his son and daughter-in-law.
He wanted to ask them what to do.
Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were really holding a wire and doing experiments in a porcelain basin in the courtyard.
When they saw Zhang Zhong arrive, they could only stop what they were doing. Xiaobao, Cuckoo, do you know what the outside world is saying now? Everyone is saying that I attracted the ghost.
Even those who learn from us are scared.
Zhang Zhong really didn't want to trouble his son and daughter-in-law. He knew that the two of them were busy, but if he didn't look for them now, who else could he look for?
The three old men had already looked for them, and their ideas were basically the same.
That was to let Zhang Zhong go to Taihu County to take a look.
Zhang Zhong came to ask his son and daughter-in-law if they also thought so. If so, then he would go and take a look and let people know that there was no ghost in that place. Of course, the premise was that he brought his son and daughter-in-law to catch the ghost. He believed that the ghost's skills were far inferior to his son and daughter-in-law's. Zhang Xiaobao listened to his father and said, "It seems that someone can't wait and has to use this method to test it.
Now is not the time.
Let's wait, father.
Don't worry. You can do this now and then continue to stay here.
Don't worry about the ghost or not, it's just a small matter." After telling the matter to his father, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan continued to experiment. With electricity, they could do more things.
If they didn't use it, it would be a waste of the electricity.
Zhang Zhong saw that his son and daughter-in-law were not anxious, so he came up with another idea.
This time, he was relieved.
He didn't want to disturb his son and daughter-in-law and left Yuan to make arrangements. In the afternoon, many yamen runners appeared in front of the provincial government. This group of yamen runners surrounded the area in front of the provincial government. Curious, the commoners came closer to take a look. When they had gathered enough people began to move things out of the door. They were all boxes, one after another. A total of 100 large boxes were moved out before they stopped.
Zhong didn't appear.
Steward Zhang stood in front of the boxes and shouted to the surrounding people, "Are you all scared by the ghost in Taihu County these days?
Do you still think that it won't work? Don't be afraid.
Today, I'll let everyone know Master's determination." After shouting this, Steward Zhang asked people to open all 100 boxes. As the boxes were opened, the surrounding people let out a burst of exclamations. The boxes were full of copper coins. If so many copper coins were poured out, they would be piled up into a small mountain. Steward Zhang was very satisfied with the reaction of the people. At this time, he shouted a few more times, asking the people to keep quiet. When the people gradually quieted down, he continued to shout, "Do you see so much money? Master had said that as long as one followed the method of trapping and did not cause trouble for oneself, then even if one failed in the end, it would be fine.
The money that was given out earlier would not need to be returned. Moreover, anyone who failed would be able to get 2 strings of money. It will be more than what you earn when you work outside during this period of time. Rest assured and don't be afraid even if something happens. You don't have to worry about those little ghosts in Taihu County."
The solution to the crisis was very simple. The simple people didn't care about anything else as long as they could see the benefits in front of them. After the steward promised, one by one, they spread the news to the people they knew as fast as they could, especially the relatives who had already participated in the scheme. They were afraid that if their relatives didn't take care of them and went outside to work, they would earn less and lose more than they did now. After all, the steward of the provincial governor had said that as long as they didn't make trouble for themselves, they would compensate.
Rumors came and went quickly.
Those who didn't have much confidence in Zhong were no longer afraid. They continued to follow the method steadily.
The ghosts were only in Taihu County.
At worst, they wouldn't go there.
What else could they do?
Could it be that the ghosts there would come to their side? The crisis that had just appeared disappeared just like that.
Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't spend much effort on this kind of thing. It wasn't worth it.
It was just a small trick. Wasn't the bank run much more serious than this? Could it be that the crazy stock market couldn't be compared to this kind of simple problem? The human heart was complicated, but it was also simple. Compared to the officialdom, the affairs of the people were easier to deal with. As long as there was a little guarantee of benefits, it would be enough. No power was needed, and they wouldn't want to kill a certain official.
Xiao Bao, it seems that they are afraid, so they used such a despicable method. If they continue to do nothing, it will be very tiring.
A sword that is not out of its sheath is the scariest sword. Once it is out of its sheath, it is nothing. Wang Wan put her mouth to the lead in the porcelain basin in front of her.
After taking a breath, she said to Zhang Xiaobao,
"This is a struggle.
It's very interesting. How long has it been? 5 minutes?
Try it and see if it can catch fire."
Zhang Xiaobao also said.
Then, he turned the glass cup upside down on the porcelain basin and put the burning wooden stick on it.
With a boom, a ball of fire appeared 2 inches away from the glass cup. It came and went quickly.
Zhang Xiaobao nodded with satisfaction. Wang Wan did the same. She put a burning wooden stick on top of the glass cup. The flame on the wooden stick suddenly became bigger.
She threw the wooden stick away.
"Okay, we can continue to improve in the future. They are not at the same level at all."
It's easy to think, but it's not that easy to trick others. It's haunted, or even a demon. Do we need to personally participate in the next step?
No, Team Zero is enough. It's just that this time, we can only deal with one person. It's not enough to deal with all of them.
We have to see if the county magistrate of Taihu County is tough. Since the light bulb has been made, let's test it on him first. You should be the best, right? After Zhang Xiaobao saw that the experiment in front of him was a success, he heaved a sigh of relief. It was finally completed. His side might not be of much use, but Wang Wan's side was different. Wang Wan was also very gratified. However, when she heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, she immediately asked, "What do you mean? Am I a bad person like the Brocade Clan guards? Or the East and West guards? I'm not a bad person. I admit. How can bad people be compared to the Special Second Department? Even the worst person in the world is inferior when compared to you," Zhang Xiaobao said as he packed up. Wang Wan did not help this time. She said with dissatisfaction, "Do you think we are the same as those unscrupulous local police? After extorting a confession, they will find all kinds of reasons. I don't know what they are thinking. There are actually people who die while breathing. It's so worrying. What intelligence. Let's not talk about this anymore. You are the greatest, okay? Send people out now. We can start in a few days. It's very interesting. There must be some twists and turns in it. It's a pity. If they came from the same place as us, they would definitely not use such retarded methods." Zhang Xiaobao poured the water, dragged the porcelain basin, and walked back. He handed the wire in his hand to Wang Wan. Wei Wei shook her head, looking very lonely. Wang Wan saw that Zhang Xiaobao had thrown something to her, so she could only accept it. She walked behind Zhang Xiaobao and suddenly said, "Why don't we make it more lively? We can call Grandpa Bai, Grandpa Zhang, and Yao Cheng. It will be very interesting to have fun together." "I think that's fine. We'll do as you say. Let's tell them in advance so that they can be prepared. Don't be scared when the time comes." "Don't tell them. They aren't afraid of being scared. That's more fun." Wang Wan disagreed. Chapter 569. Under the scorching sun, they sweated profusely as they worked with shovels and picks. Shallow water couldn't cool down the heat, but deep wells could cool down easily. Cold melons quenched thirst, and green beans were added to the porridge. Moving mountains and building bridges were hard work, and the roads extended in all directions to build a hometown. Li Sun's road construction project had always been in progress, and he was the one who paid for it. The imperial court would never give him money for his fief. This year, he had not even received the rent he was supposed to receive, but he had already spent 30,000 strings of coins. Looking at the people who didn't slack off when they were working, Li Sun was happy to spend money. He learned from the Zhang family and gave the people who worked on the roads a salary and food. The people weren't slaves. They consumed a lot of energy from their work, so they had to be well nourished. The first meal in the morning was salted beans and sorghum rice. The people usually ate this kind of food, as well as highland barley. However, they couldn't eat salted beans, and they didn't dare to eat sorghum rice. That would consume too much food. Li Sun paid for the road construction. As long as they didn't eat exotic delicacies, he didn't care. They could eat. The more they ate, the more energy they had. At noon, they changed the dishes. According to nutrition, there was one meat dish and one vegetable dish. The vegetables were all kinds of local vegetables. For meat, there were only 3 choices: pork, fish, and chicken. Except for the fish that was caught locally, the pork and chicken were all provided by Sanshui County or Yaozhou. Relying on his fleet, Li Sun did things from the north to the south. Not including the transportation fee, when a pig was sent to Xuzhou, it was the price of 2 pigs, ice money. Such wealth made the people feel relieved. Provincial Governor Zhang's family was rich, and the county king was also rich. They didn't have to worry about collecting taxes. Following the care of the Zhang family and the Wang family, besides eating, the rest was green beans and sorghum water. In the beginning, Li Sun forgot about this matter. The people didn't know how they could enjoy such treatment when they were paid to work on the roads. They never thought about it. When they started to work on the roads, the people thought that even if the county king wanted them to work for free,
they had to do it. They only hoped that they could do 20 days of work a year. In the end, when they found out that they were getting paid, they felt relieved. When they were given food on the first day, they all felt like they were in a dream. With such benefits, who would dare to think of anything else? When Li Sun had nothing to do, he finally discovered a problem. The weather was hot, and the people brought their own water bags. If the road was built close to the river, it would be convenient. They could drink water directly from the river. For others, this was a very normal thing, but for Li Sun, it was not normal. He had already paid for the meal, so why would he care about the money for the mung bean water? From that day onwards, the green bean water with rock sugar was continuously supplied. These days, the watermelons in the sand by the river were harvested. Li Sun began to ask people to throw the watermelons into Jingli town to quench the thirst of the workers. He also gave one to each person to take back home for their family to eat. He asked them to bring back the skin and seeds so that they could make food. In addition to various benefits, Li Sun also asked people to write slogans and shout slogans. This kind of thing did not have a big impact on the knowledgeable people, but it had a different effect on the ordinary people. Even if the people did not know what was written, they were still willing to listen to others say it before they told others. The general meaning was to build their own hometown and make it more beautiful. After Li Sun was done with this matter, he turned around and started to make money. If he did not make money, why would he plant so many watermelons? Because Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had asked the doctors of the medical college to research various uses of watermelons. When they arrived, everyone prepared a variety of watermelons and then mixed them with other medicines and tonics to sell to the rich. The restaurant between the clouds and the water also followed suit and launched a winter melon banquet. They could only make money for 1 year. By the next year, more people would plant watermelons and they would not be valuable anymore. They were easy to plant and could be planted in the sand. Of course, they could not keep it a secret. After all, it was not an industrial thing. Once they made money, they would let the people benefit. Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, and Li Sun were ready to take advantage of this one and only opportunity to earn back the money they had invested in the local construction. While Li Sun was busy with the watermelons, Zhang Zhong had already organized the bailiffs in the manor. He also transferred 500 soldiers from the military registrar. Under the cover of the night, they ran all the way to Taihu County. Along with them were Old Man Chong, Old Man Pai, and Old Man Yao. The military registrar also brought along a few related officials. In his hands was a document written by Zhang Zhong regarding the deployment of soldiers to investigate the copper mine. He followed behind the group with a cold smile on his face. Zhang Zhong rode on the horse and told the 3 old men about the situation in Taihu County. The 3 old men also expressed their support. After capturing the people, Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao prepared to write a letter of impeachment. Zhang Zhong also brought along the 3 dogs raised by Wang Wan to help find the people who wanted to escape. It could be said that he was determined. The whole group ran forward as fast as they could. According to the information they received, a group of people came out of Taihu County a few days ago. There were also many carriages. On the carriages were copper ores and marble that were secretly mined from who knows where. They wanted to first reach the Wanshui River, then enter the Yangtze River to transport the goods. Zhang Zhong gave the group the order to stop at the Wanshui River and capture the people. If one of them came, they would be caught red-handed. The group left when the sky had just turned dark. They ran until 5:15 in the morning before they arrived at the location. As expected, when they arrived, they saw people moving things from the docked boats to the shore. Hearing the urging sounds coming from there, they knew that the other party was very anxious. "Sir, what should we do next?" The military registrar came from behind and asked Zhang Zhong. "Capture them. Regardless of whether they are on the boats or on the shore, capture them all." Zhang Zhong said with a sullen face. "Sir, what about the charges?" The military registrar asked again. "Didn't I already write the charges for you? As for whether they are secretly mining copper ores to make weapons or privately minting coins, won't it be clear after you capture them and ask them? Why aren't you moving?" When Zhang Zhong saw that the military registrar was not moving, he was slightly dissatisfied. He pointed at the front and said, "If you let one of them escape, you can expect to be impeached by me." The military registrar seemed to be frightened. He shouted, "Guards! The provincial governor has ordered that the people in front are secretly mining copper ores to make coins. Capture them all. If anyone resists, kill them." The 500 soldiers unsheathed their swords and nocked their arrows. They charged forward while yelling. It was quite a scene, but no matter how one looked at it, they lacked a murderous aura. Zhang Zhong shook his head. He did not care about the local soldiers. After all, he was not the one in charge. There was a military registrar here. The military and political affairs were separated. Unlike Lu Zhou, it was more convenient to use him. After a moment of chaos, 2 men ran back to report that everyone had been captured. Before Zhang Zhong could say anything, Old Man Pai and the other 2 men came out of the chariot. Under the protection of the guards, they walked forward to see who was so bold. The military registrar adjusted his armor and said to Zhang Zhong, "Lord Zhang, please." Zhang Zhong responded. He dismounted from his horse and strode forward. The military registrar followed behind him. He looked at the sky and then looked in another direction. A smug smile appeared on his face. Old Man Pai and the other 2 men arrived first. With the help of the light from the newly lit torches, they saw the 40 or so people being captured. They snorted coldly. Just as they were about to say something, they suddenly realized that they could not interfere in this matter. They had to wait for Zhang Zhong to arrive first. Zhang Zhong was not in a hurry. He walked over slowly and glanced at the people being captured. He asked, "Do you know why you're being captured?" "My lord, we don't know. You can't capture people for no reason." "My lord, you have to investigate thoroughly." One of the people being captured struggled forward, but he was held down tightly by the people being captured. He opened his mouth to complain. The military registrar took a few steps forward and said loudly, "How dare you quibble? The provincial governor is here. He said that you secretly mined the copper mine. Fortunately, the provincial governor is smart and knows what you did in advance. If you don't confess quickly, you won't have to suffer." After the military registrar shouted at this person, he turned to Zhang Zhong and said, "My lord, it seems that they won't tell if they don't suffer a little. How about—" "No, they will tell when the time comes. Tie them up and take them back." Zhang Zhong refused the military registrar's suggestion and ordered. That person struggled even harder. He shouted as he struggled, "My lord, I'm innocent. We didn't mine the copper mine. We just chopped wood and wanted to transport it back to make charcoal. My lord, I'm innocent." "He's quibbling again. Take him away." This time it was Zhang Zhong who spoke. He turned around and prepared to go back. The military registrar stepped forward and blocked Zhang Zhong. He said, "My lord, it's late at night. I will listen to you. Why don't you take a look at the ship and the goods that haven't been loaded? Otherwise, if you catch the wrong person, it will be difficult for me. Please make the decision." The military registrar said that he wanted Zhang Zhong to think about it, but he didn't give Zhang Zhong a chance to speak. As soon as the military registrar finished speaking, he immediately ordered, "Come, take down the things on the ship. Bring the things that haven't been loaded on the ship here. The provincial governor will make the decision." All the soldiers answered in unison. Some rushed to the ship to take the things, and some unloaded the goods from the carts on the shore. The rest of the people were waiting here. The sound coming from the other side made them feel that something was wrong. Old Man Pai looked at Old Man Yao in confusion and said, "It does sound like wood. Did Zhang Zhong come to the wrong place? Did he catch the wrong person? It's over. If he didn't transfer the soldiers, it would be fine. At most, he would release the people. Now that the soldiers have been transferred, there is no one to catch. If the copper mine and the marble can't be found, then we will have to help from behind. We just arrived and encountered this. Well, we can't just stand by and watch."
Didn't they say that there are two masters in the Zhang family?
How could he have made such a mistake when he had thought of every conceivable possibility?
Could it be that Zhang Zhong didn't listen to the masters and did something in private? Old Man Yao understood Old Man Pai's meaning. Even if Zhang Zhong made a mistake, he had to protect him. In fact, he knew that even if someone really reported this to the imperial court, nothing would happen to Zhang Zhong. However, the prestige that he had accumulated would be greatly reduced. At this time, the soldiers who were sent out to check reported to the military registrar, "My lord, there is no marble or copper mine. It's all wood. Please make the decision." "Oh, is it true?"
"That's not right. The provincial governor asked me to send the soldiers because the evidence is conclusive."
The provincial governor wouldn't treat such a big matter as child's play, right? Check again and watch carefully. Chapter 570. As the wood was piled up, the sky gradually brightened. Zhang Zhong was still standing there, looking at the ship and the wood. After a gust of wind and water, he shivered and finally set his eyes on the registrar. He said, "Registrar Fang, you look good." "What's the good news?"
"It's dawn, and the darkness is leaving." "Registrar Fang, there are usually 2,200 soldiers in our province.
I asked you to bring all of them out.
Why are there only 500? Where are the other 1,700 soldiers?" The registrar thought that Zhang Zhong would discuss with him how to make up for this mistake. He didn't expect that Zhang Zhong would ask about the soldiers. His heart skipped a beat. Just as he was about to speak, the people who were being held shouted, "We're innocent! We're innocent! Where is the copper or that you mentioned? Lord Zhang, I heard the people say that you are a good official. You have to see clearly. Now we're finished. We can't catch up with that kiln.
Lord, aren't you a good official?
Why do you treat the people like this?"
"Lord Zhang, do you think it's time to let them go?"
The registrar immediately used the words of the other party to discuss with Zhang Zhong.
Old Man Bai and the other two walked over as well.
They suddenly realized that something was amiss. The person who had been captured was not afraid at all.
No matter how they looked at it, the military secretary looked happy. The three old men looked at each other. No one said anything, but they all knew what was going on. Zhang Zhong was set up. The other party deliberately exposed a flaw to Zhang Zhong so that Zhang Zhong could borrow the soldiers to arrest them. Of course, they would arrest the wrong person. The people who were caught should also be involved in this matter. But what could they do? There was no evidence. It was troublesome. Zhang Zhong's reputation would plummet because of this. After the myth was broken, it was no longer a myth. In the future, more people would dare to attack the Zhang family and the Wang family. "Yongqing, what's done is done. Just let it go. We'll think of something when we get back."
When Old Man Pai saw that Zhang Zhong still did not have any expression of joy or anger, he thought that Zhang Zhong was scared silly. He could understand. If it were anyone else who encountered such a situation, they would have lost their composure. Fortunately, Zhang Zhong did not directly faint. Young people's bodies were really good. Old Man Yao also advised from the side, "Yongqing, go back and offer up another prescription. It's best if it's more useful and beneficial to the country and the people. Just treat it as if this matter never happened."
"Kid, don't be afraid. Didn't we just catch the wrong person? Think carefully before making a move next time. Who doesn't make mistakes in their life? Go back and have a good meal, then sleep. You'll be fine when you wake up." Old Man Chong came over and patted Zhang Zhong's shoulder encouragingly. Zhang Zhong looked at the three old men and nodded emotionally. He said, "Yongqing thanks the three of you for taking care of me. When we go back, I'll ask Xiao Bao and Cuckoo to cook a delicious meal with cold melon. It'll be more delicious to eat dumplings with 3 delicacies stuffed with cold melon." Okay, then let's go back and eat." Old Man Pai quickly followed up. He wanted to persuade Zhang Zhong to go back.
When they went back, there would be a team of the best doctors in the Tang Empire.
He was not afraid that Zhang Zhong would suddenly collapse. He wanted to take a good look at Zhang Zhong so that he would not fall ill. Zhang Zhong nodded and then shook his head.
He said, "There's no hurry. Military Attaché Fang, I just asked you where the rest of the soldiers in the prefecture are."
"You have to tell me, right?" Seeing that Zhang Zhong was still staring at this matter, the military attaché began to think in his mind. Did Zhang Zhong know something? It should not be. After Zhang Zhong found out that he had done something wrong, he wanted to use this to threaten the military attaché to keep it a secret. That's right, the 2,200 soldiers actually ate 1,000 in empty pay. But so what? It was impossible to fight in Xuzhou. Who could fight here? Even if someone investigated, there was nothing to be afraid of. He could just recruit 1,000 people temporarily. Thinking of this, the military attaché was not worried anymore. He said to Zhang Zhong, "Your Excellency, leave the military affairs to me." "Your Excellency, you don't have to worry. 500 soldiers are enough to catch an ordinary person transporting wood. I have my own arrangements for the rest of the soldiers." "Your Excellency, is it time to release them?" "There's no hurry." "Military Attaché Fang, I still want to ask, how are the remaining soldiers compared to the 500 in front of us? Was it a mess when you were charging? Was it because of the rusty saber and the loose bowstring?" Zhang Zhong asked with a smile. "Your Excellency, what do you mean?" The military attaché could not understand what Zhang Zhong was trying to do. Was he going to make a fuss about the military equipment again? His face immediately became gloomy. He did not answer but instead asked a question. Zhang Zhong waved his hand. "It's nothing, I'm just asking." "If that's the case, then the other 700 soldiers sent by military advisor Fang will be easy to deal with. With Royal Prince Tong An's guards and this official's guards, it shouldn't be a problem to deal with 700 soldiers." "Yes. That's it. There will be marble and copper ores. Even if the Taihu County Magistrate personally escorted them and had 700 prefecture soldiers to protect them, they will not be able to escape. I am truly impressed. Each and every one of them is smart. Unfortunately, they used their brains in the wrong place." "Your Excellency, what do you mean?" The military attaché's voice was not soft when he said this, but everyone could hear that his voice was trembling. This meant that he was guilty. Old Man Pai and the other two people's eyes lit up. They asked, "Yongqing, what happened?" "Guards, keep an eye on the surrounding people. If anyone dares to move, kill them all for this old man." Noticing the change in the situation, the old man asked Zhang Zhong and immediately gave orders to the guards he brought. Old Yao did the same. Both of them brought 100 family guards. Although there were only 200 of them, it was not a problem for them to deal with 500 prefectural soldiers of Xuzhou. Seeing that the two old men had made arrangements, Zhang Zhong was even less worried. This was also the reason why he brought the 3 old men here. Although Old Man Chong did not have any family guards, his skills were there for all to see. Moreover, he was so close to military attaché Fang, so he could subdue him easily. Nothing big happened. Let's wait. There will probably be news in less than 2 hours. Military attaché Fang, do you have anything to say? Or do you hope that your 700 soldiers can defeat the Tong and Royal Prince and my guards?" Zhang Zhong said to the 3 old men, then looked at the military attaché Fang. In an instant, the military attaché Fang's back was drenched in sweat. His expression changed again, and his lips trembled. He kept swallowing his saliva, but he could not say a single word. The prefecture soldiers realized that the situation was not right. They wanted to do something, but when they saw the other 200 people glaring at them, they were so scared that they did not dare to move. They knew very well how capable they were. They could not even train twice a year, so how could they hope to defeat these 200 people? Moreover, they were the family guards of 2 important people that they could not afford to offend. They had to think about the consequences. The military attaché Fang was already confused. His eyes were filled with stars. He forced himself to stand there, unable to say anything.
Zhang Zhong just smiled and did not speak. The three old men had questions in their hearts, but Zhang Zhong had a mysterious look on his face, so they could not ask. They also waited. Less than an hour later, 3 horses galloped over from the direction the registrar had glanced at. When the horses approached, the person riding on them jumped down and reported to Zhang Zhong, "Zhang Zhong, you're in the middle of the night. Master, the 700 prefecture soldiers have surrendered. The county magistrate of Taihu County has also been tied up and is being escorted here. The marble and copper ores have all been confiscated. How are the casualties?" Zhang Zhong asked with a nod of his head and Wei. In reply to Master, there were no casualties. When they were surrounded, they very obediently threw away their weapons. The person replied, "That's good. Go and rest." Zhang Zhong regained his indifferent appearance. After the person went to rest, he said to the military attaché Fong, "Military attaché Fong, what else do you have to say? If it was not this official, anyone else would have been fooled by you. It was just a diversion. Not a bad idea. Why did you use your cleverness in a good place? This official is very disappointed. This batch of wood is also good. It can be used to build the bridge in Suzhou." "No, that's impossible. You can't possibly know. The marble and copper ores are..." They were transported separately and gathered together after being transported to another place. Outsiders would not be able to detect them at all. Furthermore, they were mixed in under the pretext of transporting other things, right? But so what? If you don't want others to know, don't do it in the first place. This official wants to build a good living environment for the people. I really don't want to play this kind of childish game with you. But you don't want to give yourselves any face. You always have a fluke mentality. Why don't you think about what this official does? Forget it. There won't be any more trouble in the future." Before the military attaché Fang could finish speaking in a hoarse voice, Zhang Zhong helped him to finish. At the same time, he thought of his son. When Lake Tai was haunted, he asked his son about it. His son said it was not interesting. He thought that the opponent would be stronger, but the result was too disappointing. Only then did he arrange for people to keep an eye on it. With the help of the clairvoyance, they could see the opponent, but the opponent could not detect them. Their random actions led to the current situation. It was indeed not fun. After Zhang Zhong finished speaking to the military attaché Fang, he did not pay any more attention to him. He roughly told the 3 old men what had happened. He did not mention the people in his family and only told them how it was arranged. However, the 3 old men understood that this was definitely another trick of the Zhang family. It was indeed powerful. The opponent made a diversion and they beat them at their own game. They were worried for nothing just now and even comforted others. Now, they needed to be comforted. Yongqing, later on, don't forget to let Xiao Bao and Cuckoo make dumplings with cold melon. This old man's heart is hurt. I need a lot of nourishment. Old Man Pai glared at Zhang Zhong and said. Old Man Yao was also angry in his heart. This was too unreasonable. Zhang Zhong actually hid it from him. He was worried about him just now. What was this called? Yongqing, your family has many good recipes. Shouldn't you take one out? This was compensation. Old Man Chong was the most honest. He stretched out his hand and patted Zhang Zhong's shoulder again, causing Zhang Zhong to stagger. This body is not good. You should practice more. The next time you lie, this old man might not be around anymore. But you're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.